Rarely see ever in hockey is you see a captain only play for half the season. His last game will be the very last one in November. But the fact that he is a captain shows how much leadership and experience that this team entrusts him with. And it's really something cool and exciting to see the amount of leaders on this team, not only in Arini, but the rest of the team as a whole.
Yeah, another one that we want to highlight on the offensive side is Drew Bresingham, who is going to be an alternate captain for this team this year. And he's someone who's impressed me a little bit as well off the ice. I was here for practice last night, their last practice before this first game, and he went out of his way to come into the coach's office, thank every coach in that office for giving him the opportunity to prove himself as a leader, and then given the opportunity to help lead this team. So that's another guy, another personality that's really good to have in the locker room, and that experience I think that he brings as well as others is going to be really important. And before we go to that first break, one more group that is very experienced we want to talk about is that goaltending trio, actually, as Coach Healy talked to us about before this game tonight. And there's some familiar faces, of course, Eric Daniel, Isaac Toyer, who have a lot of experience, have really good performances under their belt here for the Ice Pack. But there's another challenger who came in as a transfer, has had to take some time off, but Addison Lawrence is a guy that I think head coach Tim Healy is excited to see.
Yeah, when we spoke to Healy right before the game, he was admirable and just loving about Lawrence and how his goaltending is really just impressive in these few weeks that they've had to practice so far. Something to see. All the goalies will play tonight. They'll play one period apiece. That's what Coach Healy has told us. But keep an eye on Addison Lawrence. He's definitely one name to watch. Could be a very exciting player. A lot of love for his skill in the crease.
And there's some other new faces we're going to highlight here in just a bit, but first we're going to take a quick break. We have a little over 5 minutes left until we get things going here at Wake Competition Center. The NC State Ice Pack and the ECU Pirates coming up.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio. With
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
We've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio. With
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome back to the Weight Competition Center here in Raleigh, North Carolina, as we get set for the first game of the season for the NC State Ice Pack. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi here with you as we get set for this one. We want to take a look at some of the new faces now on this NC State team and some of the names that we're going to hear throughout the course of the season that we haven't heard in years past. And the first one, Joey Govea. I got a good look at him in practice last night. There were a couple of times where a shot was sent at the net, and you kind of look around like, who took that shot? He's got a great release, a really hard wrist shot, and he can put it just about anywhere on net he needs to, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch him play. He's one that Coach mentioned to me. You're going to hear his name a lot this season. But we also want to look at the defensive side as well, and one of the freshmen coming in Cade Cox.
Yeah, Cade Cox is someone Coach Healy's just in love with. Compared him to former Carolina Hurricanes player Tony D'Angelo at the defensive position. The way he moves the puck is just outstanding. Something to keep an eye on tonight. Once he gets the puck in his hands, look for that playmaking, look for that stick work, look for his passing. He is definitely a name to watch tonight.
Yeah, and we're mentioning a good number of names here, some new names that you're going to see. And I think it's worth noting that this is not the lineup you're going to see throughout the course of this season. And so when you have a guy like Cox in that top pairing of defensemen, even though this is kind of a shuffling lineup a little bit, it says something to have a freshman in that top pairing. Now, we'll look at the bottom side of the lineup a little bit as well. The fourth line tonight of Brenner, Daniel, and Harmon are really kind of three guys to keep an eye on. None of them have any experience with the Ice Pack yet, and there are some guys that we're not really going to get into quite yet because their season isn't quite starting yet. They're scratched tonight, but there are guys still in this lineup, and particularly as you see those guys on the third and fourth line, they're still trying to solidify their position on this team, and that kind of competition I think is going to make them better.
Yeah, Coach Healy also said he saw players working out that were scratches right before the game. He saw them putting so much work in before the game. The culture of this team is a lot different from last year. It's more of the hard work and leadership, which is something that this locker room definitely needs after a little bit of a rebuilding year last year. Really going to be a great season this year, looks like, for them.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're getting close to puck drop, so we're going to step aside one more time here at the Weight Competition Center. This is NC State Hockey on PackTV.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop. From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've
read that.
always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell.
There we go.
A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Well, welcome back inside Wake Competition Center. This is Invisalign Arena, home of your NC State Ice Pack, as they get set for their season opener against the East Carolina Pirates. Chris Lehman alongside Nick Prozzi as we get set for this one to start. And Nick, one thing we haven't talked too much about is this East Carolina team. I think the one position I want to highlight most is the guy we see up close here right now, and that's the goaltender, and Jackson Solmistra, who will be in net. They call him Chewy in the locker room, but he is going to have to be the anchor tonight for ECU.
Yeah, when we talked to ECU's coach tonight, he was mentioning how Solmistra is going to be their X factor tonight. He's going to be their player to watch. He also mentioned that when he coaches this ACC hockey team in Europe, he's definitely on the watch list to goaltend. So keep an eye on Solmistra in net tonight.
Yeah, Kyle Gentili, first-year head coach for ECU. Talked to him, and a lot of unknowns for this team. For him in particular, he's only met these guys less than a month ago, and now they've got their first game. NC State in all black, kind of a cream color for the jerseys and socks for ECU with black shorts as we're set to go. NC State will move right to left. Face-off deflected to the near side wall to be poked back to the middle. Dubberly looks through the middle, stolen away by the captain, Garrett Arini. He's going to break in quickly. Tripped up, throws one on goal, and it'll be patted away by Solmistra. And ECU able to clear it out in the neutral ice. Luke's puck chased after by Tucker Horn. He'll get to it and gain the blue line. Forces his way deep, knocked off the puck, and it's Zach Herman in control. Worked around the wall. ECU able to hold the zone. They'll cycle it back behind. Retrieved there by NC State's Cade Cox. We mentioned him in the pregame. Sent all the way down by the pack, and this will be icing. Good pace to start, a little bit sloppy. Both teams kind of getting the feel, but a good pace to start this game, Nick.
Yeah, good shot by Arini right off the face drop, and then ECU got a lucky puck bounce, took it all the way. Couldn't get much going with that chance, but they got a pretty good offensive zone face-off coming up.
35 seconds gone in this first period. It'll be an offensive zone face-off for the Pirates. Ice Pack went it back into the near corner, whipped around the boards. Arini pitchforks it out. And ECU chases. Outlet pass deflected. Herman has it, takes the shot, and it rises over the crossbar. ECU back in control. They'll move it forward. That's Jackson Sylvester. Dispossessed from behind. Nice work there from Arini. Banked off the glass. Now a break here for NC State. Bringing it in on the break, and it's deflected just wide. Great chance there for Philip Bailey. And now ECU can catch NC State with numbers up forward. Floated to the middle. That pass will be stolen away. Bailey in control once again. Odd man rush if they hurry for the ice pack. Bailey, top of the right circle, throws it back to the middle, off the stick of Solmistra. and out of play. Starting to see NC State get their footing a little bit now.
Oh, yeah, really good breakaway there for the Ice Pack. Couldn't finish it off, but chances like that, they're going to result in the puck in the back of the net by the end of the night. Really good breakaway there.
Oh, and they get their first offensive zone face-off. Ice Pack were working on some plays off the draw, I think mostly on the power play to start a power play, but we'll see if they have anything drawn up. They have to fight for it off the face-off, kept in by Holden Kaufman. He'll backhand it around behind the net and into the near corner. Bodies flying as Jackson slaps one wide. Kept deep by the Ice Pack. Govea. He'll be knocked off the puck. Wrapped around to the near side. Kaufman once again. Outlet pass gets out of the zone for ECU, but unable to control a neutral ice. Alex James has been a part of this Ice Pack program for a while. He's dealing with some long-term concussion issues. He's finally been cleared and is able to return to full action. NC State sends it deep. They need a change. Good pressure there from Kaufman trying to keep it deep. NC State will plug it up. Kaufman behind the net. Has a couple of teammates out in front. There was McEnany who couldn't get to it. And ECU really struggling right now just to get the puck out of their own end. Worked up the wall and out, but that's these possessions and these offensive zone opportunities get better and better, Nick.
Yeah, a little bit first game jitters going on for the offense right now. We get a face-off coming up. But the Ice Pack are starting to get their footing. They're starting to look a lot better on that offensive push. Expect some action coming up after this face-off.
That'll be another offensive zone face-off for NC State. Taking the draw will be the junior Thomas McEnany. He's got Drew Bresingham on the wing, along with Nick Shook. You can see ECU's got that near side loaded up. They don't want anything getting to the front of the net quickly, and looks like a face-off violation will redo it.
ECU trying to get a lot of traffic in front of the net, try to block as many shots as possible off this face-off.
NC State wins it to the far wall. It'll be controlled there by Shook. Forces it down low for Bresingham in the corner. 2-on-1 battle there. Pirates get some help. They'll sweep it around the wall. Noah Deegan first to it. Looking to clear. It's plugged up at the blue line, though, by Jackson Cowan. He'll send it back in. And NC State on the forecheck again. Sent to the middle. Oh, what a save there by Shulmistra. Stretching across with a glove hand. I think he got a piece of it. Chaos in front. Another chance stop. And it'll be stuffed home. Well, Nick, you knew it was coming. Back and forth. Shulmistra post to post a couple times, and eventually Bresingham finds the back of the net.
Well, as many people will always say, throw the puck on net, good things will happen. That's exactly what happened for the Ice Pack. Shulmistra showed off that beautiful goaltending, but too many deflections, bounces right to the Ice Pack. Easy goal to start the game out.
And good patience there as well from Drew Bresingham. We'll see if we can get a second look at it here as Cowan just gets it to the net. A lot of traffic, and Bresingham takes his time, finds the hole, and stuffs it in. So the first goal of the season to Drew Bresingham. And it might be unassisted with all the chaos that ensued there. But we're 3 minutes in. NC State opens up the scoring, and they'll look to go right back on the attack. Shulmistra moves it along for Andrew Robbins. Up the wall, able to find Safinski. He'll force it in as Tucker Horn tries to regain possession. NC State defensively has done a great job at their own blue line. They really haven't allowed any clean entries for ECU here early.
They are controlling the time of possession right now, dominating the neutral zone push. Expect some more chances like we just saw.
Breakout pass deflected into the corner. NC State, their first will struggle getting out of their own end, but it'll be picked up by Scott Daniel and move forward. Here's that fourth line we mentioned in the pregame. Daniel knocked out, heavy hit laid there by Connor Dubberly, and they'll knock him down again, and let's expect that from ECU. They're a physical bunch. You got to keep your head up, and now they'll move forward. Ricky Frosch trying to switch it to the far side. Banked up and off the wall and out. Here's Philip Bailey. He had a couple good chances on his first shift. He'll get it in. Held in now at the blue line by Zach Herman. He's got it in the corner. Finds Arini for some help. 2-on-2 in that corner. ECU will win that battle. Outlet pass finds Jonathan Farrow. He'll move it up that far left wing. Zips one on goal, easily handled by Isaac Toyer. All three NC State goaltenders tonight, we mentioned, will get a period. This is Toyer's period as he steers one into the near corner. It'll be a bit of a foot race into that corner. NC State able to win that battle, outletted for Herman. He's going to move it along for Arini. Looking for Herman in the middle, just past the outstretched stick. And NC State unable to turn that into anything. Here comes Jackson Sylvester for ECU. Looking for a screen shot, steered away by the blocker of Toyer. And now it's Ricky Frosch. Absorbs a hit, leaves the puck there for Bailey. He'll look across, trying to connect there with Govea. Unable to do so, but Govea going to go take it himself. And a one-man forecheck right now for Govea. Moves it back to the blue line. Bad touch there, and here's a chance for ECU. Moving forward with it is Jackson Sylvester. He's going to be bodied off the puck, and NC State takes back over. It's been physical here in these first 5+ minutes.
Yeah, ECU known in the ACC hockey as a very physical and gritty team, and we're seeing that right now.
Well, we're seeing NC State not afraid to go back at him either with the body, and it's kind of how you have to respond, as you got to be physical as well. NC State trying to set up the breakout, sent straight up the middle for Holden Kaufman. He'll steer it to the middle, and unfortunately for Emery Oliver, unable to break in on his own. ECU gains the red line. They're going to need a change, so they send it deep. Just one man in on the forecheck. That's number 42, Alex Castro. He's going to be tag-teamed and knocked down. NC State switching it to the near side, still looking for that route out of the zone. They find it as Holden Kaufman spins across his own blue line and sends it deep. It'll trickle in on Shulmistra, and he will hold on for the faceoff.
Yeah, right now the Ice Pack are just having a phenomenal transition offense, getting the puck easily out of the defensive end, bringing it on to the neutral zone, getting a lot of good breakaways as well, Chris.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there. One thing worth noting, in these last couple minutes since that goal, ECU has had a little bit of a pushback as well. They've gotten a little bit of sustained zone time. They haven't had a lot of possession time in that zone time, but they are getting the puck in, and they're making it a little more difficult on the Ice Pack to move back forward and into neutral ice. Tucker Horn possesses off the draw for the Pirates. Clears it out to neutral ice. NC State going to retreat into their own end with it. That's Cowan singing around the wall. Beautiful stretch pass is going to find Nick Shook. He comes in all alone and scores. Nick Shook with his first goal as an NC State Ice Pack member. And it came off a beautiful feed from the defense. I believe that it was Jack Strong on that far side who made that pass. And that was just a beautiful play.
It was. And like we were mentioning earlier, NC State doing a phenomenal job in transition. Good stretch pass right there. Easy breakaway for the goal.
And Shook goes 5-hole there on Shulmistra, who just, I think he was expecting something up high, so he stayed upright. And it left the bottom of the net exposed. And NC State now has a 2-goal lead about 6.5 minutes into this contest. Shots right now sit at 6-2 in favor of NC State. Well, I mentioned Jack Strong in control now. He'll go up that far wall for McEnany. Looking to the middle. Nice little body check there from David Fidishin. And NC State forced to dump it deep. Pirates will possess. Across the blue line, that rink-wide pass finds Joey DiLucia. He'll send it right in on Toyer, plenty of time. He'll steer it to the corner for Strong on the far side. He's knocked off the puck. Here's a chance for the Pirates if they get it in front, and Toyer's going to pounce on it and cover it up.
Yeah, like what the Ice Pack is doing. I think ECU needs to throw the puck more on net. They're liking to send it in on the dump, get their offensive bodies in there. But as we saw right there, throw it on the net, good things happen. ECU with a good chance there. They got an offense's own face-off. Could see some action here, Chris.
You may have been able to hear it on the last goal by Shook. It got really loud in here. And if you get a look around, we are at capacity here at Invisalign Arena tonight. I noticed before the game, walking out to the lobby, there was a line well out into the parking lot, and some of those people didn't make it past the parking lot because they are now turning people away for this game. We mentioned what that Stadium Series game or the Frozen Finley game did for this program and the eyeballs, and you can see it here. Another chance coming in, save made by Shulmistra. Turnaround shot, just skitters wide for Brenner. NC State with some pressure here. It'll be poked down that far wall. Pirates take back over. There's Crandall Connor. He'll carry it in. Has trouble holding on to it. NC State with the pressure at the blue line. They've done a great job of that here early on in this game.
Yeah, the forecheck right now for the Ice Pack. It's just killing ECU right now. Again, ECU got the puck back, but can they sustain something offensively? That's been the big question this first 8 minutes.
One thing to look out for is NC State sends it deep and goes off for a change. And you could see it on the last couple trips down the ice for the Pirates when they get into the offensive end. Their forecheck is causing a little bit of a problem. When NC State has to break out from deep in their own end, as we'll see here, ECU has been able to get them a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, ECU is going to have to, like I said, put the puck on net. But that forecheck gaining some momentum, that's something really good for them that they need to start using to their advantage.
11:48 left in this first period. NC State, of course, with the 2-goal lead. Goals from Drew Bressingham and Nick Shook, who picked up his first goal as a member of the NC State Ice Pack. Face-off on top of the NC State blue line. Swatted deep by ECU's Jonathan Farrow. NC State will look to break out up the middle. Harmon deflects it over to the far side. Arini, and as the top line brings it in here for NC State, they will cross off sides, and we'll get a quick stoppage.
Yeah, going back to this crowd, it is at capacity, not only in the stands, around the glass. I can't see any openings, which I don't think I've ever seen here in Invisalign Arena. I just saw a video of the line. It's amazing what Frozen Finley has done for this program. The nation of hockey is on the Ice Pack right now. Not just college, but the entire United States that are in the hockey community.
NC State on the forecheck. Unable to hold the zone. Alex James now possesses, and we're going to have a penalty against NC State. Philip Bailey. Not sure he agrees with it, but he will be sent off. I didn't see what happened behind the play. We'll get a look here, hopefully, at what the call is from the official. So an elbowing penalty there to Philip Bailey. And so a 2-minute man advantage here for ECU.
This is really good for ECU right now. A little struggling on the offensive end. They've had a couple late pushes. This power play should definitely help them out.
All right, give them a chance. We talked about getting some zone time, getting some shots. With the extra man, they should have a chance, and it's going to be another extra man. It's kind of down in a blind spot for us, so we didn't get a good look at it, but I believe this is going to be a hit from behind, I think is what it was over in that corner. We'll get it called here, but this is going to be a long 2-man advantage. There's a cross-check. So a minute 54 of 5-on-3 hockey for ECU. Now that's assuming we don't get anything else in that minute 54, but a huge opportunity here for ECU to get one, maybe two, and turn this game on its head a bit. Top of the umbrella shot coming off the iron, and it's going to trickle all the way out into neutral ice. A great chance there for Dylan Byrne, and he'll be back in control of his own blue line. Now to Tucker Horn, who carries it across the blue line and down the right wing. He'll leave it there at the point. Back to Byrne again. Across to the far circle. Move back up top for Byrne. Playing catch with Daniel Leary. Byrne. Over to the near side. Sylvester in front. Deflected on goal. And right there with the pad was Isaac Toyer. NC State swats it out into neutral ice. And they'll kill a little bit more time. 1:09 left on the two-man advantage. There'll be another 6 seconds after that before we get back to full strength.
Yeah, I really like how ECU on this power play is working the point. They've got a couple guys in the slot, but by working the point, they're getting those bodies moved. They're opening up that slot. I expect them to see something very similar here.
Oh, move it down the right wing again. Brink wide to the top of that far circle for Daniel Leary. Into the near corner, they'll battle for it. You get a look up close there at Jackson Cowan. He'll get knocked down, and here's another penalty. Well, it took about 10 minutes for these two teams to start being a little less cordial. And now, in the span of about a minute and a half, we've had 3 penalties. This time it'll be ECU, number 9, Tucker Horn, and another cross-check. So 4-on-3 hockey for 36 seconds.
Yeah, like we said before, this game is going to be very physical. ECU known as a very physical team. Ice Pack are showing it back. 3 straight penalties in a row. 4-on-3 hockey going on right now. Could see some really good breakaways no matter what's going on right now, even when the Ice Pack go back on to that power play.
And even though NC State still is down a man right now, I kind of like the extra space for them. They're a faster team. They're going to be a little bit more skilled as well. So having that extra space is going to allow them to exploit that, even though they are down a man. And that's, like we talked about, that's only going to last for about 30 seconds, a little bit more, before they get back on the man advantage. So 4-on-3 here, now less than 30 seconds left on the power play for ECU. Shot coming from Andrew Robbins is blocked on the way in, and now it's Harmon in control. He'll chip it across the red line and go after it as it skitters in on Shomistra. He'll steer it out for Brandon Safinski, knocked off the puck by Harmon, and he'll send it all the way back down. NC State's Cade Cox will skate all the way back behind the NC State cage and just kill off the rest of this power play. A little bit of ping pong right now. I think both teams, Nick, are just kind of biding their time until we get back to a little bit more normal scenario here.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the Ice Pack. There's a good chance there for ECU. Would have liked them to use that space a lot more. They're now on the power play. We saw those stretch passes work before. We saw a good chance 4-on-3. Now on the power play, can they work it again? They got about a minute left.
Yeah, so this will be the first power play for NC State, albeit a bit abbreviated, about a minute 20 seconds on the man advantage. This is their first chance to really get in and work the power play, though. Puck clogged up behind the net. Good pressure there from Cade Cox. Squirts loose to Arini. Has a man open in the high slot. Couldn't connect with Philip Bailey. And this one slides all the way down. And NC State will have to regroup on the man advantage with just over 30 seconds left.
One last push probably on this power play for the Ice Pack. Could work the point. Like we said, Coach Healy has some power plays in mind. We'll see if they try to run right here with 23 seconds left.
To be Harmon with speed down that right wing. Has some space. He's going to cut to the net. Backhander off the side of the goal. And ECU rings it around the boards and out. That is just about going to do it. 10 seconds left on the power play. NC State trying to create one more chance. Here's Nick Shook. Already has one. Oh, he rings one off the iron. Another chance. One-timer goes wide from Philip Bailey. And that's going to finish off the power play. But a couple of good chances there for NC State. We'll get a whistle, puck played with a high stick. But, as we mentioned, a little bit of a shortened power play, Nick, but there were some good chances in there for the Ice Pack.
There really were, and the freshman who got its first goal tonight, Nick Shook, almost had it again, hit some iron on the way there. I tell you what, this kid is looking phenomenal in his first game with the Ice Pack. The freshman from Eastover, North Carolina. He's going to have a phenomenal season if he keeps this up.
NC State wins the offensive zone draw. Be sent around the wall by Jack Strong. First one there for NC State, Joey Govea. Centered out in front, nobody in a black jersey there. And ECU trying to establish a breakout. Good pinch there from the defenseman Strong to keep it in. Backhanded out in front, Kaufman couldn't connect with anybody, and now ECU can move it out into neutral ice. Broke it up there by Strong. Loose puck still sitting there. ECU comes away with it. Nice open ice hit there from Strong to knock his man off the puck. That was Jonathan Farrow of ECU. Strong will backpedal. D-to-D with Cowan. Looking to stretch it out. Down to a knee goes Noah Deacon to intercept that pass. ECU sends it right back to the Ice Pack defense. NC State having trouble connecting in the neutral zone right now, but not allowing any dangerous chances on turnovers. As I say that, though, here's a chance around the back, and they can't steer it on goal. That was Ulrich Ritter, almost the beneficiary of a mistake from the Ice Pack. Kaufman will send it deep now for NC State. Deacon back to get it. It'll be returned to him. Up the near side, looking for Ritter. NC State does a nice job closing that off. It's Nick Shook. Good forecheck, a one-man forecheck from Shook. And ECU still struggling to find a way to possess it out of the zone. Here's Noah Scherf keeping it in. Bresingham bodied off the puck, gets some help from McEnany. Back to the point. Scherf shot, blockered away by Shomistra, and the Pirates clear it out. Move forward for Ritter. Knocked off his stick, and NC State defensively going to take back over. Another good sequence for NC State.
Yeah, another good offensive play for the Ice Pack. Looks like they're going to have numbers again, maybe 3-on-2.
Here comes Bresingham down the left wing, sends it out in front, and a great defensive play made there, but the play is not over, and they score. This time it's Thomas McEnany cleaning it up in front, and ECU, despite all the effort, could not keep that one out of the net.
Well, on the replay, first chance looked really good. Good little pad save there by Shamistra. But when you come back around, that puck goes behind the net. Really easy for a wraparound chance. That's exactly what McGeaney did.
And I think you got to give some credit. I believe it was Ulrich Ritter on the back check. Initially, I thought saved the goal because he was able to tie up McEnany and force that puck wide when McEnany had a pretty open net. And just persistence from the Ice Pack, and it's 3-0 with a little over 5 minutes left in this first period.
Really liked how Ritter got back there. Numbers against him. Obviously, the outcome that he wanted, it didn't come his way. They gave up a goal, but that's something that ECU's got to look really good upon as we have some action going on in the corner.
We're going to have another penalty here. We went the first 10 minutes without any, and in the ensuing 4 to 5 minutes, we've now seen 4. And it'll be another NC State penalty, this time number 25, Scott Daniel. The freshman is going to take a seat, and ECU will have another chance on the power play.
Well, that first power play we saw from ECU, they did have a 5-on-3 advantage. We did see them able to work the point. But we saw with NC State, they got on a 4-on-3 penalty kill. They were able to move around. They had the space. Should be interesting to see who's going to get the leverage here. All depends really on this face-off, I think.
I think NC State head coach Tim Healy are pretty pleased with the way the first penalty kill went as a shot from the point skitters wide. NC State will clear it down. But I think they liked how that went. There was a lot of possession in their zone for ECU, but as you talked about, they worked the point well. They didn't get into a lot of dangerous areas. So if NC State can kind of sit in their formation as a penalty kill and just allow ECU to work outside and not allow them to penetrate into the middle, it's going to make it a lot easier to kill these penalties.
Yeah, I think ECU needs to work the slot better. They're working the point well, like I said, but there's nothing going on in the slot. There's not enough bodies in front. At some point, though, if you're going to work the point like that, you got to put it on net.
Toyer bodies down that shot off the stick of Safinski. ECU will maintain the zone on the power play. Quick shot from an off angle, gloved and held onto by Toyer, and we'll get a face-off on that far side circle. But again, there you see it. The shots all coming from the outside.
Yeah, ECU's got to get bodies in there, whether it's just deflecting the puck in front, taking a shot inside. If it gets blocked, it gets blocked. But working the point right now, you have to work the point, and you have to have something going for it. You can't just keep passing it back and forth without looking for chances. ECU's got to change something up as we approach intermission.
Well, they'll control off the draw. Quick shot coming in, hit a couple bodies on the way through, but directed wide of the net. And now Toyer will pounce it in on the side and hold on for another faceoff. The other thing we haven't necessarily addressed, and I think what NC State is comfortable to allow, why NC State is kind of comfortable to allow ECU to possess and pass the puck, there's not a lot of pace to the power play either. NC State's not having to move quickly. That's how you get a penalty kill out of position. And there hasn't been that much work for NC State so far as Bresingham collects the loose puck and clears off the faceoff.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it on that 5-on-3 too. NC State is by far the faster team. They are the more teamwork-oriented team. They have a lot of chemistry going on. It was a good hit there. But ECU, they're kind of just working more at like a practice place. It kind of seems they don't really have a set power play. And I think that's kind of hurting them as NC State might have a chance here.
NC State able to kill a lot of time in the ECU zone, but now the Pirates will move it forward. It's Sylvester carrying it into that near corner. Forces his way behind the net, looking for some help, as he has a couple Ice Pack penalty killers there. Sends it behind the net, but it's Jack Strong for NC State, who backhands it all the way down the ice, and with a little less than 20 seconds left on the power play, maybe time for one more push here for ECU.
I want to see ECU do something different now. Too many point chances wasted. I keep saying point and all of that because they keep working it, but I want to see someone get in deep here for ECU.
All right, you hear the stick of Shomistra indicating the penalty coming to an end for ECU, or the power play, I should say. NC State back to full strength, and they'll move it forward immediately. Spencer Harmon Gains the blue line, looking to the middle, sends it there, directed on goal. Sumistra gets a piece of it, and it's directed up over the net. ECU able to control behind their own cage. Can't lift it out, though. Daniel sweeps it right back in. Brenner in with the pressure for the Pack. At the blue line, it'll be held there by McConaughey, and they'll throw it on goal. Held on to by Shomistra, and some extracurriculars after the fact.
Dog pile going on now. Really chippiness going on. Going to see definitely some penalties. The referees are on top of the dog pile.
Yeah, they're going to try and break this up, and we're going to see at least all 4 of these guys go here. As you get into this kind of stuff early, and it's going here at the blue line a little bit too, you're going to see a lot of penalty. I think that's part of the reason we saw those penalties accruing over that short period of time, because these officials are going to want to keep this under control and not allow something like that to happen again.
And I think the referees did do a good job of keeping this under control as, Daniel Scott might have a little blood coming from the mouth. It might get him there for a high stick on an ECU player. Not sure what happened, but a massive dog pile going on. I thought these refs did a good job keeping it under control. Players are just going to keep going at it. Something to watch the rest of the night. ECU down 3-0, maybe trying to get a spark going on, especially for offense after some failed power plays. The referees are trying to sort all these penalties out. We'll see who goes into the box.
Yeah, and this is going to take a minute for them to decide. There's the potential here, and it's hard to say who in that scrum, but there's the potential they give somebody an extra 2 here for starting it. We got 3:03 left in this first period. NC State with a 3-goal lead, fresh off of killing a penalty, and now we saw Scott Daniel just come out of the box, and he's going to sit there for a while, along with a teammate in there as well, and Cade McConaughey.
Yeah, for ECU, DeLucia is in the box right now, as well as Robbins, 2 of the guys in the dog pile. Referees still trying to sort things out. They're talking to some of the players on both teams. Looks like they got it all sorted out. Not sure how long this penalty is going to be. Assuming they're going to be 2 minutes, but like you said, Chris, the instigator might get an additional 2. Could be very big as we approach the end of the period.
Yeah, and you mentioned there DeLucia and Robbins in the penalty box for ECU. So 2 of your more experienced players on the Pirates roster, and you contrast that to McConaughey, who's a junior but doesn't have the experience at NC State, and then you've got a freshman in there in Scott Daniel. If you're NC State, you don't want to put guys in the box, and something that they were commended for by opposing coaches last year was their ability to kind of stay above the fray, play discipline and clean hockey. So they don't want to put themselves in the situation a lot, but when you look at the trade-off of who's in there for ECU versus who's in there for NC State, to some extent you're okay with it, I think, if you're NC State.
Yeah, De Lucia had a really good chance at the end of that power play right in the slot. And then when he got back on defense, looked like he made a really good play. So having him out right now for ECU, who's been one of their better players tonight, that's definitely going to hurt them for the final couple of minutes of this first period.
NC State right back on the attack. Shot, they score. Beautiful look there from Cade Cox as he put it through a screen, and I'm not sure Shomistra ever saw it.
No, that puck got deflected in the air. Shamitra could never see that one coming. It kind of just skipped by him at a snail's pace almost as the freshman has his first goal of his career.
When you'll see here how Cox uses the defenseman as a screen there as well, and he put it right through the defenseman's legs. And again, I just don't think Shomistra had time to see it and react. A very, very smart play, a heady play by the freshman. And we talked about it. The coaching staff kind of likened Cade Cox to Tony D'Angelo, more of an offensive, puck-moving defenseman. And you see that offensive skill coming out of him here in the first game.
Yeah, Cade Cox actually is from Bozeman, Montana. He's went to Maine. Now he's here at NC State. First goal, first game, first period. It's 4-0 Ice Pack. It's going all Cade Cox right now. And even Coach Healy said Cade Cox came in here, looked like a leader almost.
Icing waved off, or at least ECU thought they had icing. They're going to have to regroup. Tucker Horn in control. Swatted at there by Philip Bailey. And Bailey loses his stick. And it looks like ECU is offside. Initially I thought maybe it was a holding the stick penalty, but you give some, you get some there if you're Philip Bailey. You give a little bit of a whack and he grabs your stick. That's just a little bit of gamesmanship. NC State will have the face-off on top of their blue line here.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that was not called an icing on the other end. ECU certainly thought it was. I thought it was as well. That could have been disastrous for ECU. They're fortunate enough to not get that icing, or excuse me, to get out of that unscathed.
Well, and it is a bit of a subjective call for the linesman as to whether or not, a certain player has an advantage or not. But, it certainly seemed, at least in ECU's eyes, that they should have had a face-off there. And they did survive it, as they'll survive this chance here for NC State. They do clear the zone, but only briefly. Arini trying to step his way in, has it poked off his stick, and now a chance here for ECU. Shot right into the breadbasket of Isaac Toyer by Brandon Safinski. And that is the 8th shot faced by Isaac Toyer. And again, none of them have been overly challenging for him so far.
Not like that last one, like you said, not challenging directly into his chest. Moved once or twice earlier in the period, but right now, pretty easy going right there, just in the right positions, right times, doing a good job of keeping those footwork going to get in those positions. Hasn't had to make too many extraordinary saves.
Excellent breakout from NC State to move forward. They can't connect entering the zone, though, and they'll have to regroup at the blue line. Govea picks up the loose puck, throws it off to Patashilmistra. Nice little move there from Kaufman as he twists behind the net. Beautiful pass to Govea. Oh, just wide. Some excellent passing there from a couple of new names on this Ice Pack roster. It's Kaufman once again. Hands it off for Cowan. Cycled around for Emery Oliver. He'll be bodied off the puck. 4-man scrum back behind the net. Kaufman comes away with it. Quick turnaround shot. Stromista handles it. And Kaufman sends it back to the blue line. Glove down by Cowan. And steered into the near corner for Emery Oliver. Back up top for Strong. 1 minute left in the first period. NC State with a dominant performance so far, a 4-0 lead. Oliver trying to squeeze a pass through. That'll be disrupted and cleared by ECU. That was Dylan Byrne with the clearance. 42 seconds left in the period as NC State restarts their engines at their own blue line. Govea fans on the pass. Pirates take back over. Connor to Daniel Leary. He'll move it all the way across. It'll be given right back to J.C. Hansen. Pass sent to the middle. Hansen going to pick up the loose puck. Working through the middle. Throws one. Goalie scores. And pardon me, that's Ulrich Ritter, who just caught Isaac Toyer, I wouldn't say napping, but I think he is kind of looking towards the end of the period. He wasn't expecting the shot to come through. I don't think he saw it the whole way. Like we talked about with Cade Cox, Ulrich does a great job of using the guys in front of him as a screen, and you could tell by the reaction of Toyer, I don't think he saw it.
No, Ulrich had 4 defensive men for the Ice Pack right in front of him. Did a little move to get to the right side, his hand in his side, and beat Toyer glove high. It was one of those goals where Toyer probably thought his defensive men would have made a play on it, but because they weren't around them, they were kind of just screening Toyer. It was kind of like that goal we saw NC State's goal earlier, where the defensive men screened their own player.
NC State going to try and get it back before the end of the period. Forcing his way in there was Nick Shook, who already has 1 tally to his name. ECU able to shut that down and break it back out. Under 10 seconds left in the period now. Ice Pack in control. Shook going to throw it the length of the ice right in on Shulmistra. He'll handle that easily, and the horn will sound to end the first period. So a dominant start for the Ice Pack, Nick. They get the first 4, but ECU with the last answer as they pick up a goal in the last minute.
Yeah, and ECU, the goal they scored is not how you would have thought with the amount of power plays and opportunities that they had. It was kind of just a 1-on-4, numbers against them, breakaway. They throw it on net. Ritter gets credit for the goal. It's 4-1 at the end of the first period.
So NC State, even though they might not like the way the period ended, do have a comfortable 4-1 lead after 20 minutes. We'll be back with the first intermission report here on PackTV.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop. From the top of D.H. Hill Library,
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
It's hard to always know what's going on with your kids. The Talk They Hear You mobile app and Screen for Success tool can help. The mobile app shows you how to turn everyday situations into opportunities to talk with your kids about alcohol and other drugs. Screen for Success helps you find out if your child needs more support by asking about their health, wellness, and well-being. Keep your kids safe and healthy. Download the free Talk They Hear You mobile app and start using Screen for Success today.
Chris Lehman and Nick Prozzi here with you at the Weight Competition Center in the Invisalign Arena as we are in the first intermission between NC State and ECU. And Nick, very strong showing out of the gate for NC State to get up 4-0.
Yeah, we saw a couple of the freshmen get some goals. Cade Cox, one of them, like we mentioned in the pregame. Really good to see that the freshmen are getting it done for the Ice Pack right now. ECU, though, end of the period, got one back, down 4-1, but those power plays for ECU, they just did not go their way, and I think that's why NC State's up 4-1 right now.
Yeah, special teams certainly playing a role in this one. As you mentioned, a lot of the young guys getting in on the action. Nick Shook picks up a goal. You mentioned Cade Cox, the defenseman, scores as well. I also really liked the play and liked the way that Kaufman and Govea worked together. Again, new guys on the roster, so really good to see that. But you've also got some of the old hats, so to speak, contributing as well. First goal of the season coming from an alternate captain in Drew Bresingham.
Yeah, it was one of those goals that, when you look back on it, really good goalie play by Shalmistra. But the problem was the defensemen were not there, took a bounce behind the net, not allowed the Ice Pack down on the board first. It's something, though, I think ECU should be proud of as the goaltending Shalmistra's played. When he's gotten beat, he's done a fantastic job, I think, in my opinion, of doing it.
It's certainly been an earned goal.
Yeah, he's not made it easy for sure, other than that one that got deflected. But like we said on the broadcast, he got screened by his own player. So, and you take away the first goal, like we just mentioned, we take away another goal where he kind of just couldn't find the puck exactly because there was another scrum like the first goal. I think he's done a pretty decent job, in my opinion, Chris.
Yeah, and I think it's been just overall a good period. I think the one thing that NC State is going to take a look at it and they're going to want to clean up is the way the period ended. I do think you got to give credit to that ECU team and the way that they were able to pick up that goal. Ulrich Ritter just getting the puck to the net. You mentioned it in the period. Get puck to the net and good things happen, and I think he caught NC State off guard late in the period.
Yeah, it was a 1-on-4 breakaway. It wasn't a 4-on-1, a 1-on-4. Icepack had 4 defenders back, and he still found that puck into the back of the net. He switched to his right side, the side he shoots from, beat him glove high. Don't think Toyer saw it coming. Tough way for Toyer to end his night with a goal like that. However, he should still be pretty proud of his performance tonight. Saved 7 of the 8 shots on goal.
Yeah, as we mentioned, Drew Bresingham, who opened up the scoring, is going to join us here in just a few minutes, but we're going to step aside for a moment here on the first intermission. After 20 minutes, it's NC State 4, ECU 1.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
When you look
Chris Lehman back here at Wake Competition Center in Invisalign Arena, joined now by NC State alternate captain Drew Bresingham. Opened up the scoring not only for the game but for the season. Can you kind of talk a little bit about, I know it was a little bit of a blur for you, but can you talk a little bit about that goal?
Yeah, so what we like to do is we always like to practice an aggressive forecheck. So usually what we like to do is set up a 1-2-2. And so I took the first guy on the D. It came, puck popped right out to Thomas McKenney. It went right over to Shook. There was a rebound in front of the net. And then it just happened to set up the goalie down on the ice and just happened to put it home.
And you've had a couple of goals. You guys have had a couple of goals like that. I think the late one as well looked a lot like that, just a scramble in front. The goaltender Shamister for this ECU team has kind of made it hard. You've really had to earn those goals even though you have 4.
Yeah, so I really like that he's making sure the puck's going in the corner. You know, a big thing that goalies like to work on is always pushing rebounds in the corner, so that it resets the play. So I thought he's done a really good job of trying to push it that way. We've had a few nice squeaks in front of the net, and thank goodness for our line where it's like very much a grind in front.
Yeah, and it kind of got a little bit squirrely there towards the end of the period. Got a little heated. You have a couple guys in the box and then a late goal to give up. What's the talk in the locker room? Obviously, a comfortable lead, but you never really like to give up a goal in the last minute.
Yeah, so obviously you always have to come prepared. Any given Friday, anything can happen. You know, they're trying to bring the physicality, and we got to try and match that, but also stay within our boundaries. We know the fans came here to see us. We didn't come to see them, and so we just got to keep working hard and kind of keep grinding.
All right, Drew, thanks for your time and good luck in second
Yeah, of course.
period.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's alternate captain Drew Bresingham of NC State. They held a 4-1 lead over ECU. We'll be back here in the second intermission on PackTV.
We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go. From ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make. With bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
We got a little over 5 minutes left until NC State and ECU head back out on the ice for period number 2. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi here with you here at Weight Competition Center. It has been a strong first period. We just got done talking to Drew Bresingham about how the period went, and he's one, as I mentioned earlier, he's one of those guys that impresses me. He had a lot of really good things to say, and when you can discuss what he discussed and the way that everything turned out in as much detail as he did, that's a guy you like having on the ice. Almost kind of like having an extra coach out there.
Yeah, and Coach Healy mentioned it. We mentioned it before. The leadership on this team is crazy. There are guys that are freshmen that can be captains. That's what Healy was telling us before the game. Bresingham, one of those guys that definitely could be making a run at captain once we see the new semester begin.
Yeah, and another thing I want to get into here that I think is going to play a role as this game goes on. Of course, played a big role here in the first period. A lot of penalties.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be a physical game. You heard Drew mention. They're going to be physical. They want to be physical. We got to be physical back, but we also got to stay within ourselves and not take too many penalties and give them chances to get back into it. With that said, though, 3 power plays for ECU, including what was, for a good amount of time, a 5-on-3, and like we talked about, they just couldn't generate many chances out of it.
No, I think ECU needs to revamp their power play system. I don't know how much practice they've had this offseason on it. Haven't had many practices before this very first game tonight. They need to get something different going, and I hope they're drawing that up right now in the locker room, because working the point back-to-back, shooting it from the point, that's not going to do anything. You got to get bodies out in front. You got to get the puck in front of the net. Right now, they're just not doing that, and they definitely got to make an adjustment with the amount of penalties we saw so far in this game.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned, kind of the lack of familiarity, I guess, is a good way to put it for ECU. We talked with head coach Kyle Gentile a little bit before this game started. He's only known these guys for about 3 weeks now. He's new to the team as well, so there's a lot of things I would imagine that they haven't implemented yet, and it's pretty clear that that's still something that they need to work on. What I would be interested to see is if they're able to pick up the pace a little bit. That to me was the biggest thing, is just the puck movement wasn't there. It made it easier on NC State's penalty kill to stay in position and to defend well.
Yeah, and we saw on that 4-on-3 that NC State had when they were down a man, they were by far the faster team. They were moving the puck easy up and down the ice. The pace on them is the speed. They're a more well-rounded team. In ECU, you can easily tell there's some cracks in the foundation. They're not fully there yet. They're still working on it. And I think as the season goes on, they will improve. But tonight, it's one of those growing pain nights. They got to get it going together. They got to get that chemistry going, or else it's going to be another long period coming up.
Yeah, so we have a second period, another 20-minute period coming up here in about 4 minutes. Kind of as we look forward to it, we talked a lot about what these teams have done well or not quite as well in that first period. What kind of adjustments, let's talk NC State here, what kind of adjustments do they need to make? Obviously, the period didn't quite end the way they wanted.
No, and I think that's what Healy's talking to them right now in the locker room. They got to play it a lot more cleaner. Last year, they were renowned as one of the cleanest teams in the league last year. Didn't take many penalties, and at the end of the period here, we saw the emotions spill over. We saw 2 guys get sent to the, they got sent to the penalty box. We saw a couple of cross checks and elbowing get called. A lot of penalties that first period. They've got to simmer down on that, keep their emotions in check. They're up 4-1. Obviously, they want to keep pushing, applying pressure on ECU right now, but they got to make sure they keep it going.
Yeah, and for me, I think focus is the most important thing for NC State. Stay focused, stay concentrated, don't let things slip like it did at the end of the period, and they should be just fine. Well, we're just about set for period number 2, so we're going to take one more break. When we come back, we'll have the second 20 minutes as NC State leads ECU 4-1 after the first.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop. From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Oh, stupid controller froze again.
Spending less money, so...
if you guys want any... OMG, it's McGruff!
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff, the crime dog! He's a fake!
Oh! I am McGruff, the crime dog. He is the fake, and so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. Let's take a bite out of crime together.
Who says you're not the fake?
Dude, you're literally missing it.
You are smart, kids. You're smart. Buy smart.
Mentioned that big crowd here at Wake Competition Center tonight. Here's a look at the line out the door. Chris Lehman, Nick Barozzi here with you. And Nick, it's a heck of a line. It goes way out into the parking lot, and I'm not sure everyone in this video made it in.
No, we were told that people were turned away. There is no room for them here at Invisalign Arena. Around the boards, it is packed. It is just a madhouse in here. It's really good to see. Hopefully those people that were denied, they're able to come again in 2 weeks when we play Kentucky.
Yeah, this facility in general, there's not just a couple of hockey rinks. You've got volleyball, gymnastics, soccer facilities, and you can see some of those in the background. You almost could host a watch party in one of those buildings across the way with as many people as were here. But we're about set to restart here with the second 20 minutes. NC State in all black, ECU in the kind of cream-colored uniforms. But as we talked about, ECU finished the period on a positive note with that goal from Ulrich Ritter.
Yeah, it was one of those goals that you just put it on net, good things happen. That's exactly what happened for ECU. I really liked how Ritter took on that 4-on-1 disadvantage for him, able to put the puck in the back of the net. They got some good vibes going around, it seems like, for this second period. A lot of penalties in that first period. ECU kind of kept it clean until that big fight back with about 4 minutes to go in the first period. You see the teams start to take the ice back out again, but ECU's definitely got to change some things if they get back on that power play because it is just abysmal right now.
Well, and you got to look there a moment ago at the new NC State goaltender for this period. Not new to the team. Eric Daniel was on the team last year. In his NC State career, total of 37 games, a .277 goals against average, and just over 900 at .908 save percentage. So a couple of really good options for NC State. They kind of want to, not sure which one would be labeled 1A versus 1B, but that's what you have at Isaac Toyer and Eric Daniel. So new goaltender, new period for NC State with a 4-1 lead, and off the draw it'll be ECU moving right to left in period number 2, and they'll control. Horn through the middle, swept in by Brandon Safinski. Daniel, a little rusty there on the first play of the puck, but he hands it off. It'll be cleared out by Cade Cox. Quick chance here, they score! Quick transition from NC State, they go flying end to end, and the captain, Garrett Arini, picks up the goal. It is his 32nd of his NC State career, and it is 5-1 Ice Pack.
Well, we talked about it in the intermission report, Chris. The pace is just not there for ECU. I mean, right there, easy job getting around him, finding Renier on the other end. The Ice Pack, by far, just a better connected team. They have the better speed. It's 5-1 now. Really hope that the Ice Pack don't let it in too hard to them, but ECU, they've got to find some footing.
Yeah, really good start for NC State. They get back that late goal they gave up in the final 30 seconds of the first, and they'll go right back to work with that top line on the forecheck. I think the other thing worth noting, this NC State team, you look at where they've come over the past 10 or so years as the shots deflected up into the rafters, but they're doing a lot of things, and one of the things that head coach Tim Healy said to me when I talked to him prior to the game here this afternoon is he wants to make it feel a little bit more like that kind of professional experience, high A, double A baseball kind of feel. He wants to have that kind of an organization. And so sometimes that comes with benefits to the fans. And one of those benefits is anytime NC State scores 5 goals at home, you get free queso at the Village District Moe's near NC State. So free queso for NC State fans after tonight's game. Not going to get it after the game tonight, but tomorrow. NC State controlling in their own end. Cade Cox, Hardy with a goal tonight. Looking for some help on the breakout. Stretch pass intended for Arini. It goes the length of the ice. And a good hustle by the captain. Well, I thought he was going to cancel out the icing. But we will have a whistle, and this is going to come all the way down, it looks like.
Yeah, Arini kind of just tripped up on himself. Don't know what happened there. Kind of just lost footing, and that's why we have an icing. We're bringing the puck all the way back in. But like you said before, the little free queso thing might be the moves after the Notre Dame football game tomorrow.
Yeah, just for those who are interested, if you mention queso goal for free queso, 10% of the proceeds will also go to the Ice Pack, so supporting this team as well. The offensive zone draw here for ECU. Herman to take the draw for NC State. Pirates will control. Nifty little move, and the shot deflected up and over the top. Nice chance there for Brandon Safinski. And I believe it was Herman getting out and getting a stick on that.
Yeah, really good to see the first liner left winger, Safinski, get a good shot right into the slot. Like we mentioned, they got to get the puck in there. Safinski get a good job of doing that. They can win this face-off. They do it again. They're going to get a lot more better looks. Maybe catch NC State napping. Maybe we'll see Eric Daniel kind of just be off his line since the face-off is coming from the left side and he is a lefty goalie. Should be interesting to see. Hamill have another face-off, little violation going on.
So they'll redo the draw, but NC State did make a little change after the first stoppage there. Kaufman taking the draw now for NC State. That top line that includes Arini, Herman, and Bailey coming off after kind of an extended shift there to start the period.
Yeah, they got the goal, and then the icing kind of kept them on there, but good thing they're able to get off now. Good chance here for the Ice Pack, 2-on-2. They get numbers right in front, just wide of the net.
Yeah, good chance there. Emery Oliver trying to combine with Joey Govea. And NC State will get the offensive zone draw. Well, there was one team that was really a pain for NC State last year, and that was the North Carolina Tar Heels. We just got some interesting news. The Tar Heels opening up their season at High Point tonight, and the Panthers actually surprising everybody, 5-3 win over the Tar Heels. So for NC State fans who might be tuned into this one, might take a little pleasure in hearing the news at the start of the season for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, High Point, like ECU, isn't in the same division. Good chance here for NC State.
All the scramble in front, it'll be steered away. NC State keeping the pressure on. Kaufman back behind the net for Oliver. Sends it around the wall again. Nobody there in NC State jersey. ECU now can control, but that forecheck is relentless. Govea trying to center, lost his footing, and unable to make the pass. They'll fight for it along that far wall. Good job holding the blue line, at least momentarily, by Alex James. But the Pirates continuing to force their way up and out. Backhanded back into neutral ice by NC State. Connor in control for the Pirates. Twirling with it, Andrew Robbins has it stolen away. Govea, good chance, sends it back out in front, and another try sent just wide of that far post. ECU now with numbers if they move quickly. Down that far right side, Sylvester, number 25 in the ECU uniform. Stuck up against the wall there with Alex James. He'll get some help from some other Ice Pack members. Noah Scherf comes away with possession. Now Alex James able to move it forward. James going to carry it through the neutral zone before he has it knocked off his stick. Numbers for ECU after the turnover. Down that right wing into the circle. Closing in. Shot stopped by Daniel. He'll swallow up the rebound. And nothing further will come of it.
Well, ECU was going in for a line change when they made that push, and that was kind of a missed opportunity there from Jonathan Farrow. If you look to his left side, the bench was all pointing. They had two guys come out from the line change. They were wide open. And Farrow looked like he had his head down. He was making a move. He didn't find them. They could have easily gone to the stick side, but nevertheless.
That's one of those things, and it's something that's a little more unique to that second period. You have the longer change. If you're in your defensive end, you got to get across the red line to get significantly across the red line just to get to your bench. And that kind of led to that chance for ECU. Chance now for NC State, dragging it through the legs of defender Nick Shook, unable to hold on to possession, and Sholnistra will cover up for the draw.
Really like the hustle down the ice there by freshman Jack Strong. Again, another freshman. Feels like I'm a broken record tonight mentioning all these freshmen, but it's really a great sight to see all these freshmen kind of make an impact on. We saw Nick Shook get a goal, also almost got another goal. He hit the iron. Big night for the freshmen. I think that's a big takeaway so far in this game.
Defensive zone draw won by the Pirates. It'll be shoveled around the wall by Noah Deegan to the near corner. NC State, though, looks like they'll be first to it. Trying to set up in the offensive end. Strong holds his own momentarily, elevated up and out into neutral ice. Turning with it is Farrow. Throws it on goal. Blocker down by Daniel. And NC State clears into neutral ice again. It hops the stick of Bresingham. They're going to wave off icing, so play will carry on. Swept around to the near side. Dubberly gets it out of the ECU end, but there are too many black jerseys there. NC State going to go right back to it on offense. Nick Shook powering down that right wing. Looking it to the middle. It's going to be deflected in on goal. Sholmistra will freeze it. And another face-off in the offensive end for the Ice Pack.
Another good chance there. Shook, Bressingham, who we talked to back in the intermission. That third line for NC State, that might be the best line tonight. They've got 2 goals on there. Excuse me. They have 3 goals on there, actually. Everyone on that line has scored tonight, which is a good thing to see. 2 of those being freshmen, or excuse me, 1 of those being freshmen, 2 of the older guys on there. It's one of those mixed-match lines in terms of age, but that third line for NC State by far has looked really impressive.
Scott Daniel wins the draw for NC State in the offensive end.
They'll work it down the wall, sent to the middle off the stick of Daniel and deflected wide. Pinching down Ricky Frosch, the defenseman, will maintain possession. He's forced back up the wall, and ECU able to knock it loose and move back the other way with it. Horn knocked off the puck. ECU is reinforcements. Bouncing puck in the middle of the NC State zone will be settled down. Ice Pack bring it back out. Daniel trying to break into the zone as it knocked off his stick. Frosch coming in, gets a skate on it but can't possess. Here's Horn. Nice stick check there from Cade Cox to shut things down at the blue line. Now Brenner in there along with Cox, and looks like the puck may have come out of the zone. And we're going to have an offsides call here.
Yeah, Brenner was getting into it with Connor Dubley there right in front of the ECU bench. Couple of shoves initiated probably before and even after the whistle. The chippiness is still there. Both teams trying to keep their emotions in check. First time we've seen any after-action extracurriculars, but
not quite 5 minutes into the second period. NC State with an early goal from Garrett Arini here in the second have grown their lead back out to 4. Big hit on the near wall by Cox, but Rogers able to get it deep for ECU. He'll chase after it again. NC State able to get away from the pressure. Up the near side, Scott Daniel, skate to stick, pushes it along. That's Spencer Harmon carrying it into the zone. Forces it back behind the net. It'll be pinned to the wall. Some help there from Daniel, though. You see it up close. It's a 4-man scrum. ECU able to move it up the wall, but Cox holds the zone at the blue line. Pitchforks it in for Daniel. He's unable to possess. Cox again doing a great job on that near point, keeping NC State in their offensive end. Bailey with a shot. Oh, great deflection from Scott Daniel. I'm not sure how Schulmeister got to that, but he got a piece of it and directed it wide. Another good chance for NC State. Back up to Cox on the near point. He'll walk the line, steps into the high slot, and a pad save made by Schulmeister. Steers it into the near corner. You see that rebound control that Drew Bresingham mentioned in our intermission interview. One thing that Schulmeister does really well is that rebound control. Here's another try. Slapper. Ooh, that hit somebody in front. And there's a Pirate, a little bit hobbled after that slap shot. Pirates get it deep, and ECU's defense will get a much-needed change. That was Andrew Robbins who blocked the shot, and it looks like he's holding that left knee. He'll shake it off and continue on in the next shift. NC State continue with the pressure, though. Harmon's shot stopped, shoveled back in front, and it just missed that near post. NC State with another golden opportunity. Deflection in front. Harmon deflects it wide and behind the net. Good pinch there from Alex James into that far corner to send it back behind. ECU again just struggling to clear. A little bit of a bad touch there for McConaughey, and he'll retreat to the neutral ice. And now to be directed out of play. He was looking for Arini, but NC State just a little bit loose there after a pretty good sequence in their offensive end.
Yeah, Schulmeister made 2 great saves. The puck that went across the net, it got hit up in the air. Not sure who did that, if it was intentional or not. Would have been one heck of a goal, though, if it were to go into the back of the net. It did not, but NC State really pushing it again on the offensive end. They are really keeping ECU in check in terms of, like you said, Chris, they're having a hard time getting it out of their own zones. We see a bad neutral zone ice turn away.
And one of the most important places on the ice are the 2 blue lines. Turnovers at the blue lines, whether it's your offensive blue line or your defensive blue line, never good. And NC State has been the best team at the blue lines tonight. No question about it. They'll go back to work offensively. Arini forced off the puck. Has some help there from Philip Bailey, though. Bailey dispossessed. Gets it back from Alex James, though. Walking that top left circle. Throws it at the net. Blocker down by Schulmeister. And NC State, well, it looked like they were going to have to retreat. Now they will. A little bit of a weak clearance. I'm not sure James was ready for a trickler, but he and McConaughey will reset at the defense. McConaughey rink wide. Can't find his target. ECU back in control. The goal scorer, Ulrich Ritter, walking down that right wing. Takes the shot. Bodied down by Daniel. NC State cleans up the rebound. Alex James moving it along, trying to hit Harmon. That pass a little bit too long, but no icing as Harmon the first one to it with speed around the wall. They'll get pinned up there on the boards near side. Sent to the middle. Steered around by McConaughey, but couldn't find a friendly face. And now ECU moves it back into the offensive end once more. Sylvester looking to the middle. That pass hit a skate and directed to the near corner. Set in front again. They score. Deflected in right in front. Joey DeLucia. And ECU with an answer.
We mentioned it before. ECU has to get bodies in front of the net if they want a chance to get back in this game. That's exactly what they did. Watch Joey De Lucia stay right in front of the net. Really good pass, actually, and De Lucia did a fantastic job of deflecting that in. Incredible goal there by ECU.
Yeah, and looks like they'll save that puck for ECU. But an important goal for the Pirates, just trying to stay within striking distance, back down by 3. But I'm not even sure if De Lucia got a stick to it. It looked like on that replay in the corner, it might have just hit his leg. But like you said, just get in front of the net, get bodies in front, and you never know what'll happen. Throw it into the mixer, as they like to call it. NC State in control off the draw. Back up the near wall, Emery Oliver. Couple of Pirates there trying to knock him off the puck. He's able to move it forward anyhow. Here's Govea. Through some pressure, throws it at the net. Rebound loose in front. Big save by Solmistra, but he can't get the third try.
Oh, we got another scrub going on.
And now they're going to get into it. I believe it was Emery Oliver. We'll see who leads the way to the bench. Actually looks like it'll be 29, Holden Kaufman, who ended up putting it away. But it was a couple of really, really good saves from Solmistra before NC State finally put it in. Another well-earned goal for the Ice Pack.
And it looks like we're going to have another talking. Maybe some guys going to the bench right now. But how about NC State taking the shot and then crashing the net? We haven't really mentioned that a lot tonight, but the Ice Pack have done a fantastic job of crashing the net on Solmistra. It pays off there with their 6th goal of the night. And ECU, despite getting a nice one back, immediately off the face-off, give one away.
Well, and we talked about it with the penalties in the first period, that these officials were going to try and keep this game under control. And the best tool they have is the ability to call penalties. We've got a couple of Pirates in the box. Looks like De Lucia is in there, along with, I believe that's number 12, David Fidishin,
and then
in there. And Kaufman's puzzled, and I understand why. He got knocked into Solmistra.
I think they called the one person.
He kind of pushed his way out of there, but he got out of there and got away from it all. So he's a little confused, I think, as to why he's in there right now. But this is as much as this is for the penalties, it's a game control thing. It's making sure that the tempers don't get too out of control. And it looks like De Lucia, within a couple of minutes of scoring that goal, is going to be sent back to the locker room. And I would, you look at how much time is left in the period, my guess is he's done for the game. This isn't just a 5-minute with less than 5 minutes left in the period kind of deal. I think he's going to be done.
No, I think it's one of those instigator penalties. He already got one earlier, it seems like, when he had it seemed like a 4-minute penalty in the first period. Headed back to the dressing room tonight. He'll hang his skates up for the night, but looks like Kaufman's still puzzled about why he's in the box. He was celebrating the second he got out of that pile in front of the net. He banged up on the glass in front of the fans who loved it, but he's in the box right now just puzzled and wondering what he did to deserve that penalty.
And that, I think, is just going to be, it looks like Fidishin and Kaufman will have offsetting penalties, but it is a 5-minute major on De Lucia, so NC State's going to have a very long power play here. And we haven't got a really great look. They had an abbreviated power play in the first period, but we're going to get a really good look now at what their power play units can do.
Yeah, remember, it's a 5-minute penalty. A goal does not end the penalty since it is a major penalty. So the Ice Pack can really get things going, get those gears turning on the power play. So a good chance for those freshmen as well to show what they got on the power play. We've seen what they've got already. Maybe we'll see the older guys, the upperclassmen. Maybe they'll get a chance on the power play.
Yeah, so still waiting. There is another ECU player in the box. That is Noah Deacon. Now I would imagine, there was a 5 and a 10 issued to De Lucia. And so somebody has to sit in the penalty box now that De Lucia is gone and serve that. And I would guess that is what Deegan is doing. But again, we got 11:54 left in the second period. I think right now, Kyle Gentile, head coach for ECU, getting an explanation for why everything was called the way it was. But for NC State at this point, it's about staying disciplined. Keep your head on a swivel now, because ECU, they're going to try and make it hurt a little bit. I think they're going to be looking to knock you around. We heard Drew Bressingham mentioned that it's just a characteristic of this team. They're physical. And now that you're down 4, it's going to get a little more physical. So you have to be ready for it, and you have to respond appropriately to it as well.
Yeah, ECU's definitely going to let their emotions play out. Down 4 goals, like you said. NC State, got to keep them under control. Something we saw them do last year. They're struggling with tonight. Something to look forward to, especially on this 5-minute power play. If NC State can generate a really good offensive push, that's just going to anger ECU more. They're going to get really disrupted on the defensive end. A lot of arguments might be had in terms of players on ECU between each other, and then they might take that out on NC State players after the play.
Yeah, so this is how you want that penalty kill to start if you're ECU. NC State, a little bit of trouble initially getting out of their own end, but plenty of space here down the left wing. Walking in, and the shot from Herman directed up and into the glass behind the goal. NC State's Herman again, circling with it, walks the blue line, finds Arini, shot bodied down by Shomistra, diving down, he'll swat it away on that near post, and NC State with another great chance. They'll stay on the power play and keep the pressure on in the offensive end.
I don't know how Shomistra saved that puck. That was incredible.
Up at the blue line now, Cade Cox. Talked about him, kind of that puck-moving defenseman. He'll be key on the power play. Trying to shoot one through there. Seeing eye shot. Found Shomistra, but he bodies it down. Another chance here for NC State as Herman has the puck hop his stick on the top of that far circle. Cox whips it down low for Bailey. He'll walk it back up the wall, turning at the blue line. Looking for some help now in the near circle. Bailey still sends it out in front. Can't connect with Arini. NC State collects the loose puck, though. It's Cox again. Still 3.5 minutes left on this major penalty to Joey DeLucia. NC State trying to add to an already comfortable 4-goal lead as got a whistle. Puck was lost by the official. Couldn't see it anymore, so a quick whistle and a face-off in the ECU end.
Yeah, a little slow to get up right now. That's Philip Bailey. Had a pretty long shift out there. Good start for that penalty kill, like we mentioned, for ECU, but NC State's turned the tide a little bit, had great chances, but back to that save by Shomistra. I mean, he was completely turned left, came back to his right. The ECU bench was going crazy that he made that save. That's why they are so high on Shomistra this season.
Yeah, and we're talking about him kind of saving some goals in that first period, and I kind of felt like he did, but he didn't, because NC State continued with those chances, and eventually, he just couldn't make another save. That's one scenario I think he really did take away a goal there by swatting that puck away from that far post. NC State wins the draw, but Gouveia wins it a little too well, all the way down the ice. Daniel out to play it. ECU has a chance to make a couple changes on the penalty kill. A little over 3 minutes left on the man advantage. Alex James receives it on the near side. He'll bring it into the offensive end. Throws it at the net. Pad save made by Shomistra. A long rebound sent right back towards the net. But Cade McConaughey unable to hit the frame. James down the near wall. Gets it back from Gouveia. Decides to take the shot. Stopped in front. Not sure if it got to Shomistra or if it hit a body on the way through. NC State, though, will recollect. Gouveia looking to the middle for Oliver. That's just stolen away, but not cleared. Great pressure here from the NC State power play. Gouveia getting the pass from McConaughey. Now he'll switch places with Alex James. Over to McConaughey. One-timer coming. That hit a body on the way through and deflected over the net. NC State still in control. Working the blue line nicely, James. He'll be knocked off the puck. Retrieves it, though. Sends it across to McConaughey. Walks in down that far circle. Loose in front, but pouncing on the rebound, Shomistra. And I think we talked about the way that things have gone for ECU here and the way they've gotten more physical. One thing I have noticed, a lot of that physicality coming right in front of their own net. They're doing a great job after the play of protecting their goaltender, Jackson Shomistra. He absolutely deserves it the way he's been playing so far.
Yeah, NC State really likes to crash the net on those shots. They try to get any rebound that they can, flip that in the net for a goal. But like you said, they are really good at defending the net. Just because of the amount of black jerseys they see down there, they don't like it. They want to establish their turf.
The whistle looks like the puck hit somebody on the NC State bench after the Pirates' Kyle Rogers had won the faceoff. But it's been a fairly effective penalty kill for ECU. A couple of good chances for NC State, and you'll hear it all the time. Your best penalty killer a lot of times has to be your goaltender, and that has been Shomistra so far on this one. And I think credit to the ECU penalty kill. They've done a good job of, as much as they can, limiting the NC State chances. And when they haven't been able to contain them, it's been Shomistra making sure it stays out of the back of the net. Herman in control for NC State. Centering pass, hit a skate. It'll be collected at the defense by Cade Cox, who has to circle back. And again, it's been a pretty effective penalty kill so far for ECU. They've been killing for over 3 minutes now, and they have not allowed NC State to extend that lead. Cade Cox up top. Hands it off. Shot coming. That hit a body on the way through. Nick Shook will retrieve it off his own shot. Rink wide for Herman. Back to the high slot. Arini scores! Garrett Arini with his second of the night. Oh, hold on. I believe we're going to have goaltender interference. I could be wrong. Yep, there's the signal. Goaltender interference on NC State. Here's another look at it. Oh, just enough. You could see the contact. There was a little bit of contact between Philip Bailey and Jackson Shomistra, and the official decides that's enough to disrupt his ability to stop the puck. It'll be a 2-minute. That'll be a 2-minute penalty here on Bailey for goaltender interference. But there, now hold on. There's.
Oh, right there.
Got to.
Philip Bailey kind of just didn't know where Shomistra was. Shomistra kind of came out of the crease a little bit, skated into him. Light contact, like you said, Chris, it was enough. Now we got some confusion going on at center ice.
Well, and it looks like there was a penalty called on ECU as well, and I'm not 100% sure why. I certainly didn't see it. Jonathan Farrow now in the box as well.
Sylvester's trying to point out where this faceoff should be. It looks like it's going to be in the NC State defensive end.
Yeah, it should be based on the penalty to Bailey. The faceoff will come down the rink. And I'm wondering if that ECU player wasn't put back in because somebody came out early before that 5-minute penalty ended for De Lucia. And I'm not sure if that's why they're back in, because it is 4-on-4. So whatever Farrow is in for has not pulled another player off the ice for ECU. So 4-on-4 hockey for 1.5 minutes, and then an abbreviated power play for ECU. Daniel swallows up that shot from the point. Dylan Byrne firing away for ECU.
Not sure if it was because of that penalty that ECU took that got the 5 minutes. I don't know if they had 2 guys get it, which is why they had someone else get back in the box, but a little bit of confusion up here.
I believe it's because you have 2 guys in the box. One serves the 5-minute, one serves the 10. The 5-minute wasn't up yet before the ECU player came out of the box as shots steered away by the blocker of Shomistra. So I think that's what it is. Either way, most importantly, we're playing 4-on-4 hockey here for another 1 minute and 8 seconds. Shot from the point through traffic. Ooh, Shomistra wasn't sure where it was initially, but he swallows it up. That shot coming from Cade Cox. NC State with another offensive zone draw.
Really like that point shot. A lot of empty space for him to shoot that puck right there, but Shomistra kind of couldn't find the puck there. It looked like he had a clear shot at it. Maybe there was some traffic in front. It hit him, and he didn't react at first, so I don't think he necessarily saw it the entire way, but once it hit him, he may have had an eye on it, and then he just had a hard time finding it to freeze it.
And we've seen a couple of NC State defensemen try and do that. Here's Ricky Frosch throwing it through, deflected in. That's exactly what they were looking for. Frosch to the near post, and an easy deflection makes it 7-2. This goal goes to number 9, Thomas McEnany.
Once again, the third line for the Ice Pack. Get it done. A really good pass coming in there. I'm not sure who that was. It looked like it was Ricky Frosch. And pretty simple for Thomas McEnany. Once they got past really a lot of traffic in front, McEnany just had to get a stick on it, deflect it up and in.
Oh, and one thing that was illustrated really well on that play there was keeping your stick on the ice. As a youth hockey player, you hear, keep your stick on the ice, keep your stick on the ice. That is exactly why. You could see the ECU defenseman try and tie him up to his stick up, and he was still, McEnany still able to get his stick down and get it on the puck. It is vital in spaces like that, especially around the net, to keep your stick on the ice and be ready, because you never know when the puck's coming your way. Just over 30 seconds left on the penalty for ECU on that Major to DeLucia before they have a very short 5-on-4 power play. Here's Tucker Horn for the Pirates. Stops as he enters the zone. Drops it off for a teammate in Safinski. He'll carry it deep. Button hooks with it in the corner. Back out in front. Shot and a glove save made by Daniel. Nice job. Those shots when the puck comes back off the goal line and you have to go from looking to your side or behind you to out in front, that can be difficult to stop.
Yeah, it gives the left side of the net basically wide open. It requires the goalie to make a good glove save, and Daniel flashing the leather there, making a really nice play. Not much action he's had this period in terms of shots on goal, it seems like, but able to get a nice glove on the puck there when it matters most.
The roster doesn't have height and weight stats on there for these players, but it's very clear. You look at Addison Lawrence and Isaac Toyer next to Eric Daniel, not the same size. When you have that kind of reach and that size, you can use it to your benefit if you're Eric Daniel, that's for sure. So NC State will kill off an abbreviated power play here for ECU, under 20 seconds left on it already, as they returned to full strength as ECU. Emery Oliver clears it out. That will likely finish off the power play for the Pirates.
Not much they were able to do there with a little bit of time, but got a good chance to push here on the breakaway. They have numbers, but missed pass right there in the neutral zone.
Stretch pass misses its target. Jackson Cowan will be the first to it for NC State behind his own net. Moves it up the wall. Tracking back for it, Scott Daniel. Can't break it out, though. Slapped back in by Ulrich Ritter. ECU trying to get established in the offensive zone. Here's Sylvester. Rips one on goal, and it's gloved down. Unable to hold on to it was Daniel, but the NC State defense cleans up the loose change. Pirates getting some good pressure here. NC State struggling to break it out. This is where that long change can come into effect here in the second period. Tied up, coming out from behind his own net. Strong.
That's going to be a penalty.
And now we got a penalty coming up on ECU, trying to keep it in the zone. Oliver deflects it all the way down the ice. This will be icing, I believe. We'll see how they do this. I believe this faceoff is going to be at center ice because of the icing. But an easy, whether it be interference or tripping here. That's going to be a cross-check. It's been a popular call tonight. Either way, it's a 2-minute penalty, and NC State will be back on the power play. As I mentioned, kind of unique here because of the icing call. The faceoff goes to center ice here.
Yeah, Jonathan Farrow picking up the cross-check there. I want to go back to that pass ECU had. They able to get a chance after it, but Horn didn't make the best pass. It went off a skate. He may have missed it a little bit as well, and he came straight to the bench, quickly climbed over, slammed his stick on the bench. He's currently sitting down right now. He's still in a lot of anger. The emotions are starting to get the best of ECU, it seems like.
Yeah, it can get frustrating in a game like this when things just aren't quite bouncing your way. Cade Cox swapping places with Zach Herman. He'll carry it down that far side boards. Circling with it. Back up top. Shot coming off the stick of Nick Shook is deflected wide. NC State still in control behind the net. Didn't get one on the major penalty, but they had some good chances on their last power play. Arini's already got 2. That one's directed over the net by Shulmistra as he got a blocker to it.
Really like that rook for Arini. Weird shot to save there for Shulmistra, but Arini had a really good angle. Not much space in between him and Shulmistra. Just couldn't get that location exactly down, but if the Ice Pack keep working that side of the ice, I think it'll start paying off for them even more.
Yeah, and this kind of, not necessarily D-to-D passes, but those circle-to-circle passes have opened up some good opportunities. Arini has already scored on one of them. They had another good chance there. Once again, NC State controls off the draw. Nick Shook receives the pass from Cox. He'll return the favor. Cade Cox walks the line. Returns it to Shook. Top of the near circle, takes the shot. Shulmistra with the save, and he'll hold on. And he may have given up 7 goals, and you look at it from a save percentage standpoint, it doesn't look great, but Shulmistra has been impressive. Even that last save, he could see it the whole way, but he's got pressure all around him. He's had an NC State player falling on top of him as he tries to control the rebound, and he's done a great job. Really hasn't seemed phased either.
No, I don't think you could put most of the blame on him, even that. He's done a really good job in net. A lot of tough shots that he could have saved, but he couldn't. it's been a rough night in net. It's one of those good nights that turns out rough as that shot goes wide.
Another cross-ice pass set up that opportunity for NC State. Nick Shook unable to hold the zone, and now Cox will reset at his own blue line. Light pressure coming from Rogers on the penalty kill. Just enough to force NC State to regroup behind their own net with 49 seconds left on the man advantage. Cox, pestered by Rogers, gains the red line, looks to send it deep, but he sent it right into an ECU penalty killer. Rogers collects it at his own blue line. Dispossessed by Arini, loose puck collected by Philip Bailey. He'll walk in off the glove of Shulmistra and up over the net, but NC State trying to keep the pressure on. Bailey pins it with a skate to the wall. Move back to the blue line for Cox. He'll straddle the blue line as he brings it across. Hands it off for Shook, looking to the middle. Through Arini to Bailey, who scores. Once again, that cross-ice pass through the penalty kill formation creates the opportunity, and NC State takes advantage.
Yeah, you said it, Chris. Those circle-to-circle passes are what's getting NC State those opportunities. You mentioned it before. Arini had a really good chance on the other end. I'm actually not sure. Bailey did get that goal, excuse me. It was that circle-to-circle pass even fooled me a little bit. Doing a really good job at working it, working each side of the ice. ECU kind of just cheats over a little too much onto that to the side the puck is on, which allows Arini to be able to skate in there. Easy goal for him.
One thing I mentioned earlier is that NC State, worked on the special teams last night. Power play, penalty kill was something they were working on. Some of the passes they were making cross ice through traffic last night was impressive. You got a good look at it at that corner replay as we got a heavy collision into the wall over there. But you could see that just a very tight seam for Shook to fit that through, and he was still able to find a man in Bailey across. ECU trying to respond here. They'll pin the puck up along the boards in that near corner as it comes loose. First one to it is ECU's Brandon Safinski. Try to force his way out in front. Loose puck teed up there by Byrne. Deflected off a body and wide. NC State a little bit on their heels here. Now they'll take it away. Scott Daniel moving up this near right wing. Absorbs the check from Byrne. Looks to the middle. His shot blockered away by Shulmistra. A little back check there, though, from Aiden Brenner to disrupt the play. Loose puck collected by Alex James. NC State defenseman behind his own net will break it out himself. Straight up the middle. He's still got some space to work with. James all the way down to the corner. Loses an edge. And NC State trying to get back. Nice pinch by the defenseman Noah Scherf to hold the zone momentarily. ECU trying to corral a bouncing puck and can't. Now it's Harmon. Moving it along, Govea deflected to the middle. Brenner all alone. He'll walk in. Save made by Shulmistra. And he's going to cover up the rebound. Another big save by the ECU netminder, and it will stay 8-2 at the moment.
That's exactly what we're talking about, Chris. With Shulmistra making these really good saves. A breakaway like that, he stays low, gets the glove on the puck. It's been a rough night, but I hope Shulmistra takes his takeaways from the night are going to be, I did all I could. I played the best that I can, and I made some really, really impressive saves that will probably get me a little bit of notice as well.
NC State controls off the offensive zone draw once again. Emery Oliver swats it around the wall. Holden Kaufman moves it back to the near side. Again, it's Oliver. Pressure from ECU will bring the puck loose. Horn trying to clear but can't. NC State, again, great job holding the blue line and not allowing ECU just to skate it out into neutral ice. Collected in the corner by Govea. Across, they score. What a pass from Joey Govea. And it'll be the second goal of the night for Holden Kaufman.
Another cross-ice pass that results in another ice pack goal. Let's see here on the replay. A little late goal horn going on. Able to walk it back in deep because you got to get the puck right in front of the net. Really good backdoor cut going on there by Holden Kaufman. Get that puck in, just a little chip shot to get it in. ECU just got to do, I think they got to do a better job at staying in their position because they like to cheat over to the puck side.
Yeah, it's just a build-off of that. One thing I noticed on that replay, all heads in ECU jerseys were turned to the puck. Kaufman found that weak spot, that soft spot back on the far post and just snuck back there. Govea saw him, and all he had to do was tap it in after that. Excellent play as NC State just continues to pile on. here against ECU. Just under 2 minutes left in the second period. Pirates is trying to salvage something here out of this game, trying to have something at least to build off of going into their next contest. NC State will move it along. Emery Oliver, skate to stick. Kaufman unable to control. Oliver coming in to help. He'll pick up the loose puck and move it deep. Back behind the goal for Kaufman. Got a couple of guys here on hat trick watch for NC State. Kaufman and the captain Arini, both with a pair of goals, as well as, I believe, Thomas McEnany. ECU will knock it loose behind their own net and possess. Moved forward now by Alex Castro. He'll cross the blue line. I don't know how he found that pass through. They score. I'm not sure how that got through the NC State defense, but ended up right on the stick of Jackson Sylvester, who threaded it through the 5-hole of Eric Daniel for the third goal of the game for ECU.
Yeah, how about the alternate saying, hey, we still got a hockey game to play. We still have 21 minutes left in this hockey game. Again, like you said, I don't know how that got through, but kept the puck low. Looked like he 5-holed the goalie there for NC State.
All right, I think part of it there was that Daniel just was surprised that that puck came through.
Yep.
I didn't see exactly how it got through. It was caught up in some skates and just ended up on the right stick for ECU. And sometimes that's how it works. You just need the right bounce. You need a little bit of puck luck. NC State certainly seemed to have a lot of it tonight. Shook over to the near side for McEnany. Couldn't connect on the one-timer. NC State will continue to put pressure on the forecheck. Bressingham leaves it in the near corner. Coming out from that corner, McEnany's shot whistles wide. Pinching in, Ricky Frosch holds the zone. And now Bressingham has it pinned behind the goal. Nick Shook over to help. He'll steer it back behind. There's an ECU player. I'm not sure if the stick is broken or if he just lost his stick, but right now Brandon Safinski without a twig. So kind of a 5-on-4.5 for NC State if they can take advantage, but it's ECU breaking it out. Ulrich Ritter double teamed and knocked down as he tried to go through the NC State defense. Daniel out to play it, and he's going to get knocked down. This could get interesting. It wasn't a hard contact, but you did. Rule number 1, don't touch the goaltender.
Yeah, Eric Daniel did a good job at selling that one, but surprised we're not getting it even more chippier than it is now after that.
And I think we're going to see at least one penalty here. There was a hand up before the whistle, and you can see here Ritter trying to plead his case. I think what he's going to be most upset about here is he
might be done for the night.
That's what I'm wondering. Is he sent to the bench? Does he stay on the bench, or is he going to the locker room here?
And it looks like he's headed to the locker room.
And this is here. They might look at that and think of it as a bit of an overreaction with the way that this game is, but there's a reason the officials are doing this. They just want to make sure it stays under control because you had a couple of skirmishes after the whistle, and they want to limit that as much as possible. But again, I understand the frustration there for Ritter. It was a little bit like context. As you mentioned, Daniel, as you would expect him to do to try to draw the penalty, tries to sell it a little bit. But yeah, especially in this scenario, you have to be very cautious about going in and pressuring your goaltender. So it's going to be another power play here for NC State. We're only down to 9 seconds left in the period, so most of it will come in the third. But just we talked about puck luck and the bounces going NC State's way, and it's just been how it is tonight.
Yeah, and I think that was some frustration by Ritter because that is not a smart penalty to take. Final seconds of the period, you get to push the goalie down 6 goals. It's just not the brightest thing to do, and his night is done. I do understand that Miller did. He sold it a little bit. He flopped a little bit. We can call it that, but at the end of the day, like you said, Chris, number 1 rule, you don't touch the goalie. The NC State players are standing up. I feel like if that call wasn't made, though, we would have saw a lot more action behind the net.
Now, the one thing that is a bit confusing here, NC State's expecting the offensive zone face-off, but the face-off at the moment is going to be in the NC State zone. Now, there's no... So somewhere in there was a penalty on NC State as well. There's actually a power play here for ECU. That penalty went up on the NC State side.
And it is 5-on-4 hockey right now.
And they've got, at least right now, they've got Thomas McEnany's number up there. So NC State actually comes out on the short end here, and they'll have to kill a penalty to start the third period. They clear the puck off the defensive zone draw, and that will do it for 40 minutes. NC State, another dominant period, Nick, and the lead continues to grow.
Very eventful period as well for NC State. A lot of rapid goals right off of face-offs. The cross circle passes, that's been their bread and butter tonight. A couple guys on hat trick watch as we approach the third period.
Yeah, so NC State, big lead, 9-3 over ECU after 40 minutes. We'll be back with the second intermission here on PackTV.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
We've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad-spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad-spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Line Arena at Wake Competition Center. It is a commanding 9-3 lead now, Nick, for NC State. As you mentioned, as we headed to the intermission, very eventful period for NC State and for ECU. Plenty of penalties, plenty of power plays. As we talked about, NC State, they worked on that a little bit last night, and it showed.
Yeah, NC State had that 5-minute power play in that second period after the major by ECU. Didn't really work that well at first. However, more penalties piled up, and towards the end of that 5-minute major penalty, NC State started getting those gears turned on that power play. They started seeing those plays, those cross-ice passes, not even on the power play. We saw those cross-ice passes from circle to circle. So it really worked for NC State. They found a clear and obvious weakness in the ECU defense.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned how that first major penalty at 5-minute power play for NC State, that was shortened a little bit. Didn't quite work out the way they wanted it to. I think what we saw as the period went on is the way that NC State was able to wear down ECU. They were getting fatigued fatigued. That left some more openings, and NC State did a fantastic job of opening that up and exposing it, and then putting the puck in the back of the net as a result. So a great second period from NC State, still 20 minutes to go. We're going to step aside real quick, but we have one of NC State's voluntary assistant coaches, Alex Fong, who will talk with us about this game so far when we return. NC State 9, ECU 3, here on PackTV.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
It's hard to always know what's going on with your kids. The Talk They Hear You mobile app and Screen for Success tool can help. The mobile app shows you how to turn everyday situations into opportunities to talk with your kids about alcohol and other drugs. Screen for Success helps you find out if your child needs more support by asking about their health, wellness, and well-being. Keep your kids safe and healthy. Download the free Talk They Hear You mobile app and start using Screen for Success today.
Hey everyone, Nick Perazzi back with you here at the Invisalign Arena at Wake Competition Center. I'm here with volunteer assistant coach Alex Fong, who actually played for the Ice Pack last year. Now, Alex, that last period was very eventful. Saw a lot of goals, saw a lot of penalties. What are your thoughts on that last period, and how can that be managed headed forward to the third?
Yeah, I really liked what we did in the second period. Moved our feet well, moved the puck well. Just keep our feet moving. Build on the things that we've been working on in practice. Just building good habits is what we're looking for.
Now, as I mentioned, Alex was a former player for the Ice Pack. Last year, he was a forward. How has that been, that transition from forward to being a volunteer coach?
Yeah, it's definitely been different, but you know, I'd like to think that I was kind of a leader and a teacher in my time on the team. You know, I got to learn from some great players, great coaches, so just trying to pass on that knowledge.
And like we spoke to Coach Healy before the game, he mentioned the leadership on this team is just phenomenal. You coming in there with your experience, your leadership, that must have been such a great job. How has your impact been on these players?
I mean, I think it's all them. I mean, I got to give credit to all of them. They've really stepped up this year. A lot of great talent in the room and a lot of great guys in the room. It's really just all them.
All right. Well, this is Alex Fong for you guys. We'll be right back with you here from Invisalign Arena. Ice Pack 9, ECU 3.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. The lessons learned here don't end with graduation. A great university goes far beyond campus. It allows allows you to see the big picture. A great university gives you tools, community, partnership, a launch pad. You don't just go to NC State University. You take us with you. We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena here at Weight Competition Center. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi with you as we are in the second intermission. Still a comfortable lead, 9-3 for NC State. And Nick, you just finished talking with Alex Fong, who actually was out on the ice with this team last year. And that's one of the things I think that's maybe, I don't know if specials is the right word, but something that is important and that this team has in spades, and that's that alumni base that will come back. There are 2-3 guys on that coaching staff that are kind of volunteer assistants like Alex. I think that's a great culture builder here for this team.
Yeah, I was going to say it's amazing for the culture. Not only the fans showing out in full support, people getting turned away, but having former players come back, reconnecting with the players now, especially the amount of freshmen we have on this team, it's really great thing to see. The coaching going on from former players. Like you said, the alumni connection from Ice Pack Hockey is just phenomenal. A lot of guys always coming back in here. Really great to see them as well.
And you mentioned the new faces, and we've talked a little bit about them throughout the broadcast, or maybe more than a little bit. They've done a lot tonight. And the two new faces that I think really kind of showed out in the second period was Joey Govea and Holden Kaufman. They connected a couple times. Kaufman picked up a couple of tallies, and those are some of the new guys that I think are really going to have an impact up on one of those top two lines as top six forwards.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which one it was. It was one of the two that you previously mentioned, but they walked in towards the end of the I believe it was a power play for ECU, and you said all the ECU heads, they were turned this way. Easy walk in, that's a heads up, that's a veteran play almost. See, hey, everyone's looking at the puck. I could just slide back door, just throw it on my way, I'll knock it down, I'll get a one-timer or something just to put that puck in the net. The freshmen are making veteran plays. That's a really cool thing to see.
Yeah, and you look at some of these, we talk about them being new. I think it is worth noting that a guy like Joey Govea is he's a junior, so he has some experience, but you can see how he's instantly connecting. You don't always get that chemistry with guys when you come to a new team and a new program and have to fit in, and they seem to have connected very early on in their NC State careers. But there's still 20 minutes left in this game. I think I'd be a little bit surprised. Obviously, we're going to get a look at another new goaltender in Addison Lawrence. I don't expect him to have too much trouble. NC State's done a great job in front of their netminders tonight, but you do have to get through this next 20 minutes. I think the biggest thing you have to make sure is that, whether it gets physical or not, you got to make sure you keep everybody healthy after the first game, because that's one way to put a dampener on a season opener, is to have somebody, whether it's an awkward fall or a hit that comes at the wrong time, and you end up with a guy who's out for the season or out for a long time. That can really put a damper on the night.
Yeah, I think they just got to keep it clean. Not necessarily coast, but not necessarily put all the pressure on them, but play a little bit back. Get some of those third and fourth line guys a little more playing time, see what they can do, get them some really good ice time. As for the goaltending, got to help out your new goalie, I think. Not many breakaways. I think you just got to play in front, keep ECU in front, maybe a bit of a defensive look that NC State might bring this third period.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they come out now that they do have a comfortable lead that they don't have to worry about too much. But they do still have 20 minutes left to play, and they'll drop the puck on the third period in about 5 minutes. We're going to step aside here on PackTV for a moment. It's NC State 9, ECU 3.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad-spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad-spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena here in Wake Competition Center. Despite the 9-3 lead for the Ice Pack, still a good crowd on hand. We're not quite set to start. We're going to send it to our sponsors here for a minute. We'll be back with Puck Drop on the third period.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite
15.
NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Chris Lehman and Nick Frazzoli back with you here on PackTV as we get set for the third and final period between NC State and ECU. And Nick, we talked about it. We got a new goaltender in for NC State. It'll be number 33, Addison Lawrence, the sophomore from Cary, North Carolina. We mentioned it a little bit. He hasn't seen a ton of playing time just with the way his transfer situation worked out, but as Coach Healy alluded to with us, it's a very technically sound goaltender. Maybe needs to just kind of get back into game shape, but expects to see some good things from him.
Yeah, like we mentioned before, Isaac Toyer, Eric Daniel, you can't even say they're 1A, 1B. Now throw in Addison Lawrence, who Coach Healy is pretty high on with his techniques, his fundamentals. It's going to be an interesting goalie battle between all three of these guys, to think about it. Despite how great all three of them are, should be interesting to see, though, what Addison Lawrence can do here to make his name stick out in his first game with NC State.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the NC State goaltending. Obviously, tonight, mostly just trying to get reps for their goaltenders in a game situation, but it is goaltending by committee. On the other end, as you get a look up close now at the ECU netminder, Jackson Solmistra. Yeah, it's a 9-3 game, so it'd be hard to give him a star, but if anyone at ECU deserved to be one of the 3 stars of this game, it's absolutely Jackson Solmistra.
Oh, yeah, for sure, Chris. I mean, the way he has stopped some of these shots, laying out, using all of his body to lay out, stop some goals, flash the leather a little bit. Even got a couple of lucky pucks go his way, but Solmistra's looked really solid tonight. Those goals, however, they've just kind of been a little unfortunate, bad puck luck. The defense, like we mentioned in the intermission report, defense isn't really giving him a chance. We saw that power play goal in the second period. All the ECU defenders returned towards the puck. No one saw the backtracking and back-cutting NC State player. Easy one-timer.
So NC State will be on the penalty kill to start this third period. A couple of penalties, just kind of an altercation late in the period that led to a couple of penalties. NC State ended up on the short side, and so they've still got about a minute and a half to kill on this man advantage for ECU.
Be interested to see here what ECU cooks up on this power play. Like we said before, it's struggled a little bit, but I've liked what they did in the second period, especially towards the end, even strength. They did a good job. Oh, we got a big takeaway here.
Here's a chance. Bresingham 2-0 coming in with Emery Oliver, and he can't find his stick. It was in the skates of Oliver, and he couldn't get the shot away on a shorthanded chance for the Ice Pack. That'll give Tucker Horn a chance to carry forward for the Pirates. Had some trouble at the blue line, and they're offsides.
Well, those neutral zone takeaways for NC State, they have been a key to success for this game. I mean, especially early in this game, we saw NC State just push the pace, and it's worked out for them. A big 2-on-1 breakaway there. ECU, as you can see, they're pretty tired from having to defend so many power plays. That when they have a power play, they get a little lazy with the puck. NC State's being very sharp. Their lines are still refreshed. Allows them to get those good shorthanded chances.
ECU controls off the face-off, and again, trouble entering the zone, and they're going to be offsides. And we talked a little bit about the fatigue effect, particularly for ECU, and you look at the rosters, from a roster standpoint, they're pretty similar in terms of numbers here tonight, but it certainly seems like NC State has the advantage in the conditioning, and they've been able to wear them down. You can see it in between plays now as well. Hands on hips, sticks on knees, that kind of stuff for ECU. The fatigue is a little bit more visible for the guys in purple and gold.
Yeah, we talked to the Pirates coach pregame, and he mentioned how they've only had 2 practices since this game. There's a couple of guys that they're missing as well, including one of their key players that they're missing. Another breakaway for NC State.
Another shorthanded chance. Arini looking for the hat trick, and he got it. Sneaks it 5-hole on Solmistra. And after the hat trick, it is 10-3 NC State.
What a night for the senior Garrett Arini in his first game as captain. There's a good breakaway in the shorthanded. There's still 30 seconds left on this power play. Did a good job keeping Solmistra on his toes, and he just beat him on the stick side.
Oh, and it was a little bit tough to tell from that angle. I believe it was Jackson Cowan, who you see number 4 on the bottom of your screen right now, who turned around and fired that pass to Arini. Another heads-up play. NC State has done a really good job in finding those chances to hit those quick stretch passes. Nick Shook scored exactly like that back in the first period.
Yeah, happened right as we were mentioning how ECU looks a lot tired. They haven't had as much practice. we see a big breakaway like that happen, and that's exactly why that happened. ECU, they just don't have that footing together as a team. They're not physically fully fit together. Almost another good breakaway. Heyman with a good job trying to stretch that one out to Arini again.
NC State player goes down on the near side, slow to get up. NC State wanted a penalty out of it. I believe it was Owen Broman who laid the hit, and I don't know what kind of angle we might have on it. And I only kind of got a glance at it. It was kind of in my peripheral. They collided leg on leg. Whether it was intentional or not, I couldn't tell from my angle, but you can certainly see Scott Daniel, who we have seen up here, off camera, icing his lower lip from a hit he took in the first period. He's been doing it both intermissions, and now he's going back to the bench. I can't tell if he's going back to the locker room or not, but Scott Daniel's been beat up a little bit tonight.
Oh, he certainly has. I mean, the first time we saw him at the first intermission, he just took that hit in that big scrum to end the period, was holding a towel and some ice up to his lip, and then we went out to do the second intermission report. He was right there, same towel, new ice, doing it again.
So NC State see a little extra energy maybe after that hit. They want to add a goal to the board, but it'll be ECU moving forward. The Ice Pack did kill off that penalty to start the period, actually added a goal to the tally. But again, that kind of goes back to, you just got to have your head on a swivel. You never know when you're just going to collide with somebody when two guys aren't paying attention necessarily to exactly where they're going. And hopefully, we either see Daniel back out there, or we'll get word later on tonight that he'll be just fine. Off the face-off, ECU controls. Deflected back to the blue line. Nice blocker save there from Lawrence. NC State will control the rebound. They'll move it forward to speed. Gouveia crosses to the middle, high slot, takes the shot. Struggling with the rebound a bit there with Shomistra, but he is eventually able to corral it and freeze for a face-off.
I think ECU had a really good chance off that last face-off, Chris, but it seemed like Tucker Horn for ECU was just in the wrong place. It kind of just got all jumbled. This uncoordination for ECU has just gotten more and more presentful and obvious that they're not as co-sound or together as a team as NC State is tonight.
And looks like a little adjustment for Shomistra. He'll have a quick conversation with the official as he gets reset. We've got 17:24 left in this one. NC State right now out shooting ECU 39-17. The scoreboard shows 10-3. And again, for a 7-goal game early in the third period, there's still a good crowd on hand. And you got to factor in as well, we're getting a little bit later, closing in on 11 o'clock a little bit. And especially for some of the students that are here, it's an early morning to head out for that Notre Dame noon kickoff. So to still have this many people here in this kind of a game, I think it's great to see.
I mean, it just shows to the fandom that the Ice Pack have. I mean, it's one of the best fandoms. Good shot there. Rebound.
Gouveia, a couple chances there. As we mentioned, he's a guy you're going to hear, whose name you're going to hear a lot as this season goes on, and he's made a couple of really nice plays here in this one tonight as well. ECU clears it deep. Sylvester will chase after it for the Pirates. NC State defense gets to it first, and they'll chip it out of play.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Gouveia, just a phenomenal game he's had tonight. Had a really good chance down there. He's going to be a big player to watch for this season. NC State, I think they're a lot more deeper than they were last year. They're not as more kind of reliant on that first line. Seems like every single line. We've seen that tonight, especially with that third line. Anybody on this team can score. And Joey Gouveia on that second line. Only one goal for that line tonight, and with Holden Kaufman getting the goal. But Gouveia is connecting with everybody on the power play, even strength. He's done a fantastic job tonight. And he's been one of those people that's kind of a leader in the locker room, like we mentioned how many leaders we have, or excuse me, the Ice Pack have. He's definitely got to be one of them.
NC State in possession off the draw. Cycled back behind the net to Alex James. He'll work it up the near wall. Gouveia collects the loose puck at the blue line, in on a 2-on-1, moving quickly. Centers it. Big save made, but the rebound knocked home. The second try for Aiden Brenner ends up in the back of the net. Another assist for Gouveia. And NC State extends the lead to 11-3.
Aiden Brenner's first goal as a member of the Ice Pack for the freshman. Just poetic how we were mentioning how well Gouveia meshes with this team. Now he's going to get fourth liner Aiden Brenner right across the middle on a 2-on-1 breakaway. Again, just nothing really that, Shulmistra can do. 2-on-1, a lot of breakaways for NC State. He's just getting in bad positions, doing all he can, but Gouveia has been phenomenal.
Oh, and once again, you got to credit Brenner as well, staying with it, because he did have to get the rebound, and like just about every goal that Shulmistra's given up, it's taken 2, 3, sometimes 4 extra chances to finally put it past him. So nice job by Brenner to stay with it and get that goal. Now it's Harmon going to work. He'll have the puck poked off his stick. Brenner takes the shot, he scores! It hit a stick on the way through. Aiden Brenner with 2 goals in less than a minute of playing time, and it's 12-3.
Definitely a game that Aiden Brenner will not forget. His first game. He's a freshman, folks, and here he is getting 2 goals in 30 seconds, if that. Just a nice snipe from the right side. Shulmistra kind of got off his line a little bit. Again, another breakaway. NC State keeps pushing. ECU does not have enough people to get back, nor are they getting back in time. And it's 12-3 now, NC State.
That one a little bit of an unfortunate bounce for the Pirates, and particularly for Shulmistra, as ECU goes right back to work. Tucker Horn trying to answer. Blocker save made on the backhand try. Addison Lawrence up to the task. And NC State will regroup and move out. Philip Bailey moving forward. Lays it off for Herman. Steps in. Oh, he floats it just wide. Now Bailey taking over. He'll be hooked up and draw a penalty. It'll be another power play as J.C. Hansen. Should either be a slash or a hook. Either way, it'll be a 2-minute minor. And another power play for NC State.
Yeah, Jonathan Farrow immediately put his hands up to the ref asking, what did I do there? Why? And he's asking his coach, how is that a penalty? Just things not going ECU's way tonight.
Yeah, it's J.C. Hansen down there. You could see it. You could see him separate Herman, Bailey was the one in control there. You could see him separate his right hand from his stick. It was a pretty easy one with the official down there to make the call. But the bounces, the calls, everything right now going in NC State's favor. Just to go back to that goal from Brenner, and to go back to something you said earlier on, getting the puck to the net. Sometimes it hits somebody, and I'm not sure who it was defensively that got over to try and block the shot, and it was just deflected the wrong way and ended up in the back of the net.
Yeah, I had a hard time seeing who deflected that at first, but good things happen. You put puck on the net.
Herman will walk it down the left wing. Cross ice, top of the far circle. Shot coming off the stick of Nick Shook. Whistles wide. Cade Cox will hold the blue line near side. Leaves it off for Herman on the side wall. Sends it to the middle. Deflected wide by Arini, who's already got 3 tonight. Cox again up top. He'll walk it down low. Threads the needle for Arini high slot. That one-timer skitters wide. Loose change picked up by Herman. Leaves it for Shook. Backhand pass to the middle. Again looking for Arini. Can't find him. To the middle. This time it gets there, and Shook's redirection padded away by Shulmistra. And ECU finally clears. A strong 45 seconds to start the power play for NC State.
Yeah, once again, ECU out of position. Good chance for NC State on the left side. Can't remember quite who it was, but he just walked right in, took a good shot, and ECU was looking around like, hey, who's supposed to be here? And again, the communication, the lack of connectiveness, the teamwork, the chemistry that ECU has lacked tonight, this just keeps showing up more and more as the game goes on.
Nice step by Dylan Byrne. Makes the defensive play and clears it out. You hear the Wolfpack chant here in Invisalign Arena. A little over 5 minutes gone in this third period. NC State still has 40 seconds on a man advantage after the hooking penalty to J.C. Hansen. Kaufman up that far right wing. He'll carry it across the blue line. Steers it to the middle. Was able to find Alex James. James couldn't get the shot away, though. Back to McConaughey, near side point. Top of the umbrella, now it's James. He'll look across for Gouveia. NC State taking their time here. Shot through traffic, handled by Shulmistra. Sends it to the far corner. NC State still in possession. Govea had his saucer pass directed away. Picked up by ECU, and a nice job getting back. Solid back check from Govea. He'll turn it into an offensive chance as he moves forward. Fires the shot right into the chest protector of Shulmistra. He'll hold on for the faceoff.
I think Govea got a little tired of getting so many assists there. He wanted to get a G on the stat sheet for tonight, but good play by Sylvester for ECU there. He kind of boxed out the NC State defense. Unfortunately for ECU, though, they lost the puck, but he did a good job fighting for the puck, gave everything he can. There's been some bright spots for ECU. It hasn't been as a whole team, but in short spurts, you'll see one or two good plays by these players.
NC State wins the offensive draw. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey as the D-to-D pass goes through the legs of number 10, Jack Strong. NC State will regroup in their own end. Strong and Cowan playing catch D-to-D. Now up for Kaufman, who finds some space through neutral ice. He'll cut down the left wing, and it looks like Govea came in off sides. And a stoppage of play here with 13:06 left in the game.
Well, Chris, I want to know what you think, but 13:06 left, NC State up 12-3. Already have 3 goals in the period. Do you think they should just ease back and, like we said in the intermission, get those third and fourth liner guys getting more playing time like they are right now with the third line out there? But do you think they trust Addison Lawrence? Because I think they do. As good save there by Shulmistra. I think they trust Addison Lawrence. I would like to see them let Addison Lawrence make some good saves going on, but at the same time, it seems like NC State just wants to keep applying pressure on ECU.
Yeah, and I think it's not really in the nature of this team necessarily to throttle back. They may, short shift some of their top liners, their top 6 guys, but they're still going to continue that pressure. You never want to create a habit. As a good chance here for Govea, 3 tries and standing strong. Shulmistra keeps it out, but you want to keep doing that if you're NC State. You don't want to create a habit here in this first game of taking your foot off the gas pedal, because at some point that will come back to bite you. And NC State, and that was kind of a problem for them last year. They had some trouble holding leads last year. They kind of let off and allowed teams to stick around, and eventually it would come back to bite them late in the game. I think if you're the coaching staff and head coach Tim Healy here, so we have a missed pass for icing. But if you're that NC State coaching staff, you don't want to create that habit and put yourself in that pattern again this year. So you got to keep the foot on the gas. You don't want to go crazy and put up 6 more goals here in the last 10, 12 minutes of the game and really, kind of show up the Pirates. But you don't want to lay off either and, as I said, create bad habits. I think that's what it's going to come down to for this team.
Oh, 100%, Chris. And I'm pretty sure I was just saying that because I thought the injury that Scott Daniels suffered once again may have gotten that. However, they're not pushing back. Like you said, a lot of games last year, they had good leads, and they just couldn't hold on. I'm pretty sure Virginia Tech was one of those games that they easily should have won, but they couldn't hang on late, and it turned into an L in the stat sheet for them.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see. Certainly, we'll try and find out after the game, exactly what it is. But you look at it a couple ways. Think, you use that as a reminder. Hey, we need to make sure we're smart here. We don't put ourselves in vulnerable situations. At the same time, you look at the roster. This isn't to take anything away from Scott Daniel. He's had a very good game. He's looked good. He's fit in well. You still have a deep lineup, and you still have guys who haven't even seen the ice yet. Of course, it is only the first game, but you do have the ability to kind of absorb that if he does need some extra time to rest. Mm-hmm. So that's not too devastating, but I do think it is a little bit of a reminder, hey, let's play smart, let's keep our head up, and let's not put ourselves in unnecessarily vulnerable positions. So NC State controlling the offensive end. Nick Shook first to it in that far corner. Absorbs a couple of hits. 3 Pirates in there trying to take it away, and they eventually do, as it's taken back behind the net by Dylan Byrne.
Now, I kind of do like how Coach Healy is having his players still playing hard all the way to the end, and like you said, they don't want to show them up. Seeing a lot less chances that they're trying to go for, obviously, but never giving up, never settle. And NC State's kind of doing that here. They're doing a good job of not letting up off the gas. There's a shot on goal, but I think NC State, them not backing down and them having to keep pushing the rest of the way in game 1, that kind of just sets the tone for the rest of the year. Like, hey, every single game we play, we're going 100% all the way. And that's a really good message that Coach Healy is pushing on his players right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you look at the forecheck for NC State, we talked about kind of how they're going to adjust to the rest of this game. It's still there, and they're still putting pressure on, particularly kind of around the blue line, but they're not quite as aggressive into the corners with the forecheck. They're taking a little bit of that pressure off, and there's a goal. Spencer Harmon, just as we're talking about taking the pressure off, Harmon steps up and snipes one from the high slot. 13-3 NC State.
Another freshman, another first goal for the freshman. Kind of that pass kind of just was thrown out there because the defense had good pressure, but Spencer Harmon was just flying into the slot right in front of the net. Once he got that puck on his stick, he was just looking for anything that Tomisha was going to give up. Did a fantastic job of filling the gap and finishing off the job.
You mentioned the first goal, Cade Cox, who, by the way, I believe also scored his first goal tonight as an ice pack player. Went and grabbed the puck from center ice to make sure that they had it there. So he was one of those younger guys that Coach Healy mentioned, in just a couple of weeks has really kind of ingrained himself as kind of part of the leadership group already. And you kind of see why right there.
On my stat sheet, Chris, I have, for freshmen that have scored a goal tonight, I have Nick Shook, I have Holden Kaufman, I have Spencer Harmon, I have Aiden Brenner, and I also have Cade Cox. A plethora of freshmen getting their first goals tonight, which is really cool to see in their first game.
Yeah, build some of that confidence as you get into some of your tougher schedules. You get to the end of this month and then really into the meat of the schedule. So get those guys their experience, get them the confidence they need to go into the bigger games against the Liberties and the Kentuckys and the North Carolinas, the games that you really, really want to have. Puck loose at the NC State blue line. Harmon, the goal scorer, the previous goal scorer, swats it across. Gardarini collects for NC State. He'll pick up speed to the neutral zone. Stepping around his man, lost an edge, able to keep the puck though. And he gets tied up behind the net before it's whipped around the boards and out by Owen Broman. Over halfway through this third period now. It's just really kind of a formality to finish out this game. NC State out shooting ECU 47-18. Of course, the goal count at 13-3 now as Herman will move forward. Has some help with Bailey coming through the middle, floated in on goal, and it'll be covered up by Shulmistra. And another offensive zone face-off for NC State.
Well, you mentioned the shots on goal, Chris. 18 now in the game. If I recall correctly, they ended the first period with 8, and it seems like they had 6 or 7 last period. So the NC State defense has gotten stronger as the game's gone on, despite the fact that they did give up 2 goals that last period. They haven't given one up in the first half of the third tonight, but that defense is something to look forward to. Limiting the shots on goal, limiting the forecheck for ECU. That's something Coach Healy's got to be happy about.
And a penalty here on ECU. It'll be number 46, Jonathan Farrow. And I believe the signal I saw was slashing. It is 2-minute minor. NC State will have the power play.
Yeah, Harrow, one of those guys that's had the emotions get the better of him tonight. He was complaining about a call earlier to the referee. Just a tough night for some of those ECU guys.
NC State back to work on the power play. They've got a couple of goals on the man advantage already tonight. Cade Cox, a good facilitator on the PP. Looks to the middle. Herman through Arini over to Shook. That worked earlier for a goal. Shook unable to put it past Shulmistra this time. And now ECU rings it around the boards, and now Tucker Horn a little aggressive here on the penalty kill. Has the puck knocked loose as he tried to break into the NC State zone, and here comes Herman. He'll step across the blue line. Has Bailey with him. Down to his knees. Still tries to steer it to the middle. It'll be forced back into that far corner. Out to the blue line, Cox. Rink wide, one-timer coming from Shook. That was a floater, kind of a knuckle puck into the glove of Shulmistra.
Yeah, Shook is laughing that one off. That puck had no business of getting on net, and yeah, it took a couple of deflections, and it forced Shulmistra to put a glove on it. But when Nick Shook was coming down the ice on that last breakaway for the ice pack, he just left alone. ECU wasn't giving any attention. You can probably see him on the broadcast. He was slashing his stick on the ground, calling for the puck because he was that wide open.
McConaughey controls off the draw. Not quite halfway through the man advantage. NC State taking their time. Shot through traffic. Nice job seeing it by Shulmistra. He'll steer it to the side. Stepping in, McConaughey takes the shot. Squeezing the post was Shulmistra. He'll keep it out again. James. Down to Kaufman. Had some trouble. Got it back, and puck up on edge. Ends up popping up over the net on the shot. NC State still maintains the zone. Govea playing catch with McConaughey. Throws it behind James. He'll retreat for it. D to D with McConaughey. Slap pass down low, finds Govea. His centering feed is directed back to the blue line. Now James looks to the middle. Has a man open, and it's gloved down by Shulmistra as Emory Oliver got the shot away in close quarters.
ECU just cannot stop the cross-ice pass right now by the Ice Pack. It just keeps happening every chance the Ice Pack have. They go from circle to circle, not even circle from circle. They're just flipping the net side, forcing Shulmistra to move, because the Pirates' defense, they're not on that side. They keep cheating over onto the puck side.
ECU able to get it up and out off the face-off. A little over 20 seconds left on the power play for NC State. Was a slashing minor to number 46, Jonathan Farrow. But one of the things you mentioned, Nick, just a couple of minutes ago was the difference in shots and how the shots have kind of panned out through the period. Good chance in close for Emory Oliver. Can't get into the goal, and the follow-up from Kaufman was stopped by Shulmistra. But you talked about the shots. Since the end of the first period, over a period and a half now, talking close to 33 minutes, only 10 shots, 10 extra shots, where they had 8 in the first 20. So very big difference there. I think part of it, she mentioned NC State defense looks good. The other part of it is ECU's having trouble just getting out of their own zone right now. They're running out of energy. It's taken really all they've got just to get the puck up and out. And so, unfortunately for Addison Lawrence, he's going to be, I don't know if you want to call it the benefactor, because I think he'd like to see some shots and get a little bit of a feel in the net. But he's going to be the benefactor of fatigued ECU team. Good chance in close. And again, Shulmistra going to cover it up. Trying to force it home. There was Nick Shook.
Shulmistra finally getting some puck luck after a long 13 past him so far. But, I agree with what you said. ECU's having a hard time getting out of their own zone. A lot of passes, breakout passes, just past the stick, goes all the way down. NC State recollects. ECU kind of just stays at the blue line, but they're kind of flat-footed. It allows the Ice Pack to just easily go by them. And as for Addison Lawrence, he probably would like to see more shots on goal, but as well as Coach Healy, but I mean, he's done all he could. Nothing past him so far, so clean sheet you got to be happy about.
Under 7 minutes to go in this one. NC State has smothered ECU in their own end, and they get another. McEnany. And that, I believe, is his third. So another hat trick for NC State. And you do see a shake of the hat on the NC State bench after the third goal. Get another look at it. It was a beautiful shot from the top of the slot.
Yeah, just found his way right in front of the net, like you said, in that slot position. NC State's had a couple goals tonight in that slot position. They get it right there. How about Thomas McGinney with a hattie, as well as Garrett Arini. Two veterans getting hat tricks.
And now ECU lifts it deep, deflected off a stick and in. The recently released Jonathan Farrow dispossessed over on the far side. NC State right back to work. Steered in towards the goal. Sticked aside by Shulmistra. ECU trying to collect behind their own net. Still a lot of pressure. Nick Shook forces it back behind again. It deflects out in front. Shook scores. Just a tough bounce there for ECU. It deflected out in front. Shulmistra not ready. And now Nick Shook picks up the hat trick.
Gonna have to see this on replay because it looked like ECU was trying to clear the puck out. It wasn't a clean hit. We'll see right here on the replay. It looked like ECU was just trying to clear the puck out, just right in front of the net into the no-no zone. Nick Shook has 2 on the night for his freshman debut.
And I've got a question for you now. Is ECU's going to call a timeout to try and regroup, but I mentioned it back in the second period after the 5th goal. For NC State fans, you can go to the Village District Moe's tomorrow, since NC State did score 5 goals, and get some free queso at the Village District Moe's. My question is, they've scored 15 now. That's 3 times 5. Do you get extra cheese now or extra queso because of that? That's the question.
I think you should, in my opinion. I mean, they said 5 or more goals. Maybe they use some wording against the fans here, but don't forget, if you use I forget the code, but if you use that code, 10% goes to the ice pack, and they get all the funds from that 10%. So is that now 30%? So.
Yeah, NC State, an impressive offensive showing here tonight. 15-3 the lead with 6:20 to go here in the third and final period. But this is exactly how you would like this game to go if you're NC State. Smooth sailing, build the confidence. You get a lot of guys their first points, their first goals, and that kind of thing really helps guys settle in. If you can get that goal and kind of get that monkey off your back early and not have to worry about it. But NC State, they're continuing to go to work here. They'll keep it in the offensive zone. Kaufman pardon me, that was Scott Daniel. Good thing to see there. Scott Daniel back out on the ice after a little bit of a hard hit early on in this period, but he is back out there toughing it out. 5:45 to go now. And we talked about, especially with some of these first-year guys, as Strong steps in and fires one wide. I talked about some of the new guys on the team here getting their first goal. It's hard to see from the angle we have now during gameplay, but up close, if you get a look down at their skates, you'll notice a little bit of a difference for some of the players. You've got some guys wearing white laces, you've got other guys wearing the bright yellow laces, and for the NC State fans who have followed this team for a while, they know what the deal is with that. But for those who might not know, the yellow laces mean you don't have a goal yet in an NC State jersey. There are going to be at least a few that come off tonight already. But I think you have that every time you look down. You kind of have that as a reminder. Hey, I don't have one yet. I don't have one yet. And so to get some of these guys that they don't have to press for it quite as much, and I think that's certainly a good thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like a relief off of them. Like, hey, I'm not being pressured. I'm not the only one with the yellow laces. Now for the defensive men, though, some of those guys, not going to go, what a move by Frosch. Just going to get the shot off. You go for the wraparound, and they score.
That's a great play by Frosch. Philip Bailey, the one who finishes it off, but you can really see it now. ECU they don't have the juice left in the tank to kind of keep up with NC State, and they're exposing it. Frosch, that move at the blue line was beautiful, and again, persistence for NC State. Around the net, persistence has led to goals, and there's another.
For those of you that were wondering the code about the queso before, it's if you mention queso goal at the Village District Moves. So we'll see if it applies 30% off. I'd mentioned they've scored 16, maybe even some more to come, but go out, get some free queso, and support this team.
I'm not 100% sure Mose would go for the 30% off. They might be wanting to give a little more in proceeds. Arini looking for another. He scores. Ice Pack have been finding the 5-hole a little bit more recently on Shilmistra. Arini's now done it twice on the breakaway, and he adds another one.
Just relentlessness from the Ice Pack. They are just not backing down. Like we said, maybe they ease up a little bit. Coach Healy says we're not going to do that. We're going to play hard until the final whistle. 4:23 to go. He still got his first-line captain out there getting his 4th goal of the night. Just a really impressive thing to see. 17 goals in a hockey game. No matter who you play, that's no small feat. That is impressive, and that's going to carry some of that motivation, that positive juice over. We haven't mentioned it yet, but next week the Ice Pack have to travel up to Liberty, for the Division I Liberty team.
And that could be a very interesting game. NC State actually gave a little bit of a scare to Liberty. I believe it was last year or the year before. Actually led the game after the first period. It was a little bit of a surprise. They kept it close for most of the game. Liberty did eventually pull away and win, but this is a team that's, they're kind of right on the border. They're almost, can't quite say in between, because they don't have, a dynasty of national championships where they're dominating on a national level, but at least down here in the Southeast, they're kind of on that border and that little bit of that gray area between being, a really great Division II team and being a very solid Division I team. That's, I think, a goal of this organization is to get to that point where they can compete with those Division I teams in the ACHA on a regular basis.
Yeah, I believe they did actually beat Liberty almost 2 years ago, but last year was a rebuilding year for the Ice Pack. They still won 17 games.
And they made it to the regionals. They unfortunately lost to UNC, but they were champions 2 years ago. Can't forget that.
And here's Herman firing one wide, and that kind of speaks to the progress of the program as well. It was, I don't know that you necessarily say it was a disappointment. I think certainly any NC State fan will tell you if your season ends against the team in light blue, it's never good. But the fact that making it to regionals for this team and only making it to regionals is a bit of a disappointment and maybe an underperformance is a statement to how far this team has come. Because as a one-timer head side, I remember, I was here as a student watching these games from about 2012 to 2016. Collision on the odd man rush, and now NC State will be shorthanded. Govea taking down a Pirate. But just to get back to that point, back in those days in the mid-2010s, it was a huge deal if they made it to regionals, and they would come close a couple of times. But now it's almost expected that this team goes to regionals and gives themselves a really good chance of going to nationals. So you look at that, and you look at kind of the attitude towards last season, and you got to like that out of this organization.
I mean, you can easily say it's a down year last year, and that's what you're saying, but 17 wins, 17 and 11, that is no down year. That is a phenomenal year for most teams. And for the Ice Pack to do that, fresh off a championship, they had a lot of turnover last year, more turnover this year, start a season out like this. If they can perform well next week, even if it's a loss, if they keep it close, they play really, really hard, maybe even pull out with a win, there's a good chance there for ECU. We could definitely see this NC State team making a run like they did pre-COVID and even 2 years ago in terms of trying to get that Division II championship.
Yeah, and the net just came off its moorings a little bit there. That's what caused the stoppage. And they'll go back and reset, do the face-off on the other side this time. But it was a penalty, I believe a tripping penalty, to Joey Govea. And so he'll be in the box until under a minute left in the game, assuming NC State kills the power play. A little bit of trouble there for Robbins finding the puck. He'll be knocked down. NC State has numbers here shorthanded. They'll walk it in, centering pass. Oh, nice kick save there from Shomistra. The centering pass from McConaughey actually lagged behind, and a great save from Shomistra. Now Lawrence has to be up to the task. Short side challenge. He'll steer it away. NC State pins it in the near corner. You see it up close as the Pack still struggling just to get it up and out. Under 2 minutes to go in the game now. Stalled out along the near half wall again. Squirts loose at the top of the circle. Collected at the blue line by Byrne. He'll fire one that hits traffic and deflects into the near corner once again. Under a minute left now on the power play for ECU. Trying to force one in front. NC State does a good job defending. Unable to clear, though. Robbins looking down low. His pass deflected. Pirates able to maintain possession. Sent out in front. On and off the stick of Brandon Safinski. He's able to regather. Takes the shot. Shouldered away by Lawrence. And it will trickle wide of the near post.
Really good save there by Lawrence. Like we said, limited shots against him, but so far don't want to jinx him just yet. The shots that have come close to him, he's done a good job of fending those off as the Ice Pack able to shoot this one down as we approach the final minute.
Safinski showing off the mitts a little bit there. Stick handling around the NC State penalty kill. Unable to make anything happen. One-timer, though, from Horn. Shrugged off by Lawrence. NC State moves it forward. Getting a touch to it. Kaufman couldn't possess. Now he'll retreat and get to it again in neutral ice. ECU regroups. Sylvester as the penalty ends. Back to 5-on-5 hockey for the final 45 seconds. Advanced by Farrow. He'll look over to the far wall for Daniel Leary, who sends it deep. There's 30 seconds to go. NC State, a convincing win here at home to start the season. Kaufman into the near corner for it. Has a little trouble coming away from it. ECU clears it back into the NC State end. Cowan will sweep it over to the far wall. Strong gets a stick to it. And now a whistle. They're going to say it was played with a high stick. And a neutral zone face-off upcoming. But just 11 seconds left, so Nick, as we get this season started, this is our first real, game action look at this NC State team. Your thoughts as this season gets started?
It was impressive. I mean, like I said before, scoring this many goals in a game, that's no small feat, no matter who you play. Even if it's this Ice Pack team against a bunch of 5-year-olds. That's a really impressive thing to do still. Might not be as impressive, but 17 goals in a game is very impressive. I really like their defensive looks, really like the goaltending. All 3 goalies played phenomenal tonight. The offensive pressure was just on fire. Still a little work to do, I think, but other than that, this was a perfect game for NC State, I think.
Yeah, as there always are in an opening game of the season, there are some things to clean up for NC State, but again, you can't ask for much better than a 17-3 win to start the season. You mentioned how well all 3 goalies played for NC State. They didn't have to face too much, a combined 22 shots throughout the course of the game. I think the best goaltender, partially by way of opportunity, was Jackson Shulmistre. He did an excellent job, kept ECU in it for as long as he could, but in the end, NC State just had too much power. They will shake hands at center ice in a show of good sportsmanship. We're not quite done here at Invisalign Arena. We will be back with post-game coverage, including a couple of interviews with head coach Tim Healy. NC State opens their season with a commanding victory, 17-3 over ECU.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
When you look at Chris Lehman and Nick Perazzi back with you here on PackTV after a commanding 17-3 win for the NC State Ice Pack here at Invisalign Arena tonight. An impressive showing, as we mentioned, Nick, for this NC State team. If you had to pick one thing that impressed you the most, what was it?
I'm just going to say the cohesiveness of this team. We saw seniors giving it to freshmen. We saw freshmen scoring. We saw freshmen giving it to the seniors and juniors, and those people were scoring. The connectedness of this team and the culture that they've built, the leadership in the locker room, it's got to be something that Ice Pack fans need to be excited about because the future of this team is very, very bright, and we saw that tonight.
Yeah, I think the thing that stuck out to me the most, and kind of had a sense that it was coming just from talking with the coaching staff and seeing a little bit of them in practice. But the new faces and the young guys that immediately come in and contribute, you have some great performances from guys like Nick Shook. You also have not necessarily a freshman, but new to the team, and Joey Govea. We've mentioned, we're going to say his name a lot. He made a lot of great plays. He might not have finished tonight as well as you might think we'd see, but his playmaking ability and his vision to find guys across the ice and through traffic was incredibly impressive. And of course, even though they didn't see a lot, all three goaltenders looked solid. Nothing too glaring there. You maybe have a couple of soft goals that you'll clean up as the season goes along, but for a first game, I thought was really impressive. So there's a lot of things to look forward to. And speaking of looking forward to things, we teased it a little bit in the third period, but NC State next Friday, a week from today, will be heading up to Liberty in Virginia to take on the Flames of Liberty University, a very good program, and a program that I think NC State has kind of modeled themselves after a little bit, as much as you can. They do have 3 teams at each division, so it's a little bit different, and NC State will be challenging themselves by taking on the Division I team. I think that's a big step for this team. It's not the first time they've done it, but I think being able to compete with a solid Division I team is certainly a great thing to see.
Yeah, I think that matchup between Liberty's kind of grown into a little bit of a rivalry between both teams. They play very hard. Both teams know, and their fan bases know, it's a very big game. It's a D2 school playing a D1 school, and the D2 school always comes and shows up to play. Sometimes Liberty does get the upper hand. They play like that D1 school versus D2 school, but NC State, like you were mentioning in the broadcast before, can't really consider them a D1 team because they're not, but they're upper echelon D2 team, maybe in between D1, D2. They're a very strong team, and they come to play those big games.
Yeah, it certainly will be exciting to see what NC State is able to do. So next week, the 15th, the Friday, they'll be up in Lynchburg to take on the Liberty Flames before they return, and we'll be back with you here at Wake Competition Center to see what should be an exciting contest against the Wildcats of Kentucky. So a lot of exciting things coming up, even though it is just early on in the season here for the Ice Pack. But again, a great win, 17-3 here against ECU tonight. We're not done with our post-game coverage, though. We'll be back. We'll have head coach Tim Healy as well as a player to talk about this game and look ahead at what should be a promising season. NC State winners over ECU. We'll be back post-game.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library,
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad-spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad-spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Let me welcome you back to Invisalign Arena here at the Weight Competition Center. I'm here with Ice Pack captain Garrett Arini. Garrett had a phenomenal game today. Stat correction for us, however, we mentioned he had 4 goals. It was 3 goals, still a hat trick, just not 4. But Garrett, a game like that, first game senior year, or final couple games coming up, first game as captain, it's got to feel good.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. That's a good feeling just to start it off for the season. A lot of new guys, too, and packed barn. I think they kind of get the sense of what it's like to play here, and I think everyone's excited.
So I don't know if they mentioned to you guys, but we saw a video outside of the arena. There were people being turned away because there was no space for them. I mean, the impact that this team has had on the school as a club team is just phenomenal. It's something that other schools try but cannot replicate, and I think that's a really cool thing to be. And I wanted to ask you, of being on that team, not only just a member of that team, but being the captain, how important that is to you and what you do to support your teammates as being that captain.
Oh, yeah. I'm really excited to be it. Kind of just be there for them. As he said, I was saying, there's new guys, so kind of got to lead them through the way. And honored to be it. And with like the crowd, I mean, that's huge. I mean, it all started with, I mean, it's since my freshman year, it's totally changed. But I think Carter Finley was a huge start for us, going for the future as well.
Now, that Carter Finley game, almost 30,000 people attended. Almost replicated it here. If we probably could have here in Invisalign Arena, the school probably would have. Garrett Arini finished the night with a hat trick, 3 goals. We'll be back after this here on PackTV.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. NC State. Think and do.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Chris
Locally
Lehman back
owned
with
and
head coach Tim Healy of the Ice Pack after a commanding season-opening win, 17-3 over the ECU Pirates. Coach, I don't think you expected it to be quite like this, but I'm sure you're very pleased with the way your team played tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there's only positives to take away tonight. For us, this was a chance to,
get out, get in front of the home fans. We haven't seen them since Carter Finley, so get everyone back into our own building. Basically, almost like a 60 minutes of live action before we go up for our stiffest test of the season next weekend. And we wanted to make sure we got out and got into a real game situation before going up the road to face Liberty D1 next weekend.
Well, you mentioned seeing the fans for the first time since Carter Finley. It seemed like just about everyone who went to Carter Finley was trying to get in tonight, as there was a line out into the parking lot, had to turn people away. I know you expected a good crowd, but how was it to have as many people show up as they had, so many that you couldn't hold them all?
Well, you know, Jaws is a great movie, and Quint's one of the great characters of all time, and he looks and he says, you're going to need a bigger boat. At this rate, we're going to need a bigger barn. So it was great tonight, and, you know, hopefully everyone comes back too, you know, but it just speaks to NC State and the passion that they have for their sports teams, and, you know, it's a big weekend for NC State. You know, we put up the first football score of the weekend at 17-3, so hopefully the football team follows suit tomorrow.
That would certainly be awesome. I want to talk a little bit about some of the guys you have on this team, though, and particularly, obviously, you got some great leadership and some experience. Drew Bresingham gets out there, opens up the scoring for you early.
Yeah, that line was they were so gritty tonight, that line. They were great.
Yeah, and then you've got your captain, obviously, Garrett Arini, picks up the hat trick. But I also want to look at the guys that we haven't seen yet, and, you know, the new faces, particularly the two guys I like together were Holden Kaufman and Joey Gavello. Gavello, pardon me. They look great together, especially the vision of Gavello looking across the ice.
You know, we knew starting in the summer, we were on the ice once a week, and you start to see it to come together, and you're kind of like, ooh, this is going to be a special team. And it's early. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. But, you know, I think this team can do special things, and it was great. You know, whether it be Kaufman or Gavea or Shook, you know, it was fun. We were just handing out the first goal pucks tonight, and it's like sometimes it's
Did you have enough?
We're going to have to order some more pucks on Monday. But, you know, what's kind of fun is, you know, Shook being number 27, and we know what a big number that was to us. Kaufman, you know, 29, and what that number was to us. Cox, you know, is number 11, and, you know, so these were, you know, some big historical numbers for NC State, and those guys jumped right into those jerseys, and boy, did they look good in them.
And you talked about doing something special. Chris Lehman alongside head coach Tim Healy of the Ice Pack. One thing that would really be special would be a first win against a Division I opponent. And you put a scare into Liberty a couple years ago. How do you go up there and take it all the way?
I think that's it. You know, every time we've played Liberty, we've hung with them for a while, but the depth, and they kind of wear us down. And that's been the problem. I think you saw tonight, right? Herman didn't get a goal. Gavea didn't get a goal, right? So you saw some production out of our third and fourth lines, and that's going to be the difference in this team this year is our depth and our defensive depth too. Realistically, we rolled 10 deep on D this year. At the end of last year, we were dressing forwards on D. We had run out. So the depth is, you know, why we're on the movie theme with Jaws. We're going to go Rocky. You know, I think the depth is what's going to allow us to go the distance next weekend.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck next weekend. Of course, we'll see you back here in a couple weeks against Kentucky.
You bet. Go Pack.
NC State.
See, I'm not in midseason form here.
NC State, big win tonight over ECU to open the season, 17-3, the final here on PackTV.
Go Pack.
I'll take that for you.
Thank you, guys.
Brandon.